This broadcast is copywritten by the SAGU Sports Network for the private use of our audience. Any other use of the broadcast or any pictures, descriptions, or accounts of the game without the SAGU Sports Network consent is prohibited.
Welcome to the SAGU Sports Network. I'm Adam Ferguson, joined by my partner Tim Roberts. Tim, we're back. Second week in a row we get to watch a SAGU Lions home game as they play host to the Langston Lions, the bit of a rivalry we've seen over here the last 4 or 5 years.
Yeah, and really it's been going back a long ways. Two teams going back all the way to the CSFL days. They've been going head-to-head. So it is that rivalry atmosphere here today in Waxahachie.
SAGU, of course, we'll get into it a little bit here, but SAGU, of course, boasting a 3-game winning streak against the Langston Lions, and they're playing a little bit earlier than we usually see them here to start this season, but we'll talk about them here in a little bit. But Tim, let's go on a nationwide scale here. We like to talk about not just the Sooner Athletic Conference and what's happening here in Waxahachie, but we like to talk about the NAIA and countrywide football, and let's talk about some matchups that happened last week, some big 25 or top 25 matchups with. It's early, but playoff implications possibly. You never know what one loss can do to you.
I mean, that's the thing about college football is that the playoffs can be determined in September. A 2-game losing streak, and now you're out. So, it's always a big week. There's no such thing as an off week, really.
Let's start with my favoritely named school, Reinhardt versus number 11, Georgetown. An upset. Reinhardt defeating Georgetown 28-24.
A team that's been there for a while. Reinhardt not ranked at the moment, but they have, been in the conversation for a long time. Pulled off 4 interceptions last week in the 4-point victory. That could have been a factor more than likely.
It might be. A one-possession game, 4 turnovers is never really going to help you in that aspect. And then what many were calling game of the week, Graceland, number 21, Graceland at Baker. Up-and-coming Graceland, 45-42. Tough game for Baker because it was their homecoming game, and you never want to lose homecoming.
No, it was, obviously Graceland is the kind of surprise team of the year so far. They're surging up the polls. No one really considered them, and they're looking really great right now.
And Truman Jules Guard for Baker, solid game, 16-31. That completion percentage just above 50%. 302 yards, 4 touchdowns, no turnovers. That Baker defense, 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, so 4 turnovers, 4 sacks, 9 tackles for loss. That defense, despite having given up 45 points, really made a lot of splash plays.
Yeah.
You got to be happy with that early on in the season. You want your defense to be playing well as the season rolls along. Let's move to number 2, Grandview, household name, one of the top teams in the nation every year, defeating a Missouri Valley team who was receiving votes. Not really a close one, Tim.
Yeah, 70-7.
Yeah.
I heard people, Broncos fans, this past week trying to discuss what do you call it's a 40 burger, it's a 50 burger. Once you hit 70, what even is it at that point? It's a 70 pallet of steaks. I don't know, but that's exactly what it was. Complete domination. Their quarterback for Grandview went 12 for 12, 251 yards, 3 touchdowns. That's basically perfect. That's it. I mean, you only have to throw 12 passes, obviously, as you put the game away early. But, you don't get much more perfect than that.
Nice little light day at the office for Jackson Waring. We move on to College of Idaho, number 10, losing to number 13, Montana Tech. Another close game, 9-point win, 44-35, but it's a good one.
And I love those. I said it last week about these are how these games always go. These Midwest, Pacific Northwest, Badlands games with the Montanas, the Idahos. Just a really great game up there. Lander Smith with Montana Tech ran for over 100 yards. Blake Thielen with Montana Tech threw for 361 and 2 touchdowns. So they led both categories. They had leading rusher and passer, but couldn't pull off the win. Mentioned the Frontier League. Obviously, our old rival here, Arizona Christian, moving from the Sooner to the Frontier. That's a tough move for them. They're dealing with a lot up there right now.
How many rivals does SAGU have? Maybe we just look at it a little bit differently. But, of course, Arizona Christian a rival, Langston a rival, Texas Wesleyan a rival. Hey, you know what?
It's a conference. Yeah. It's a conference. Every single game's a rivalry game.
and then, of course, I did say game of the week, maybe Graceland and Baker. But number 14, St. Thomas. Number 16, Sooner Athletic Conference team, Texas Wesleyan. 38-20, Texas Wesleyan falls to St. Thomas.
Yeah, running back for St. Thomas, Rontavius Farmer led the way with 156 yards and 3 touchdowns. They finish off that brutal stretch where they played D1 Stetson, went all the way up to Montana to play on the road, and then come all the way to Fort Worth to play. Again, they're based out of Miami, Florida, so this is quite the haul for them. They come away with it with 2 narrow losses and a big win over a top-ranked Texas Wesleyan team. St. Thomas looking hot right now.
Yeah, keep an eye out for St. Thomas. They're going to be a team to watch as we move closer to playoff time. They're inching towards that top 10 territory. They could be a team to be reckoned with, so we'll see. We talked about last week. Let's talk talk about this week. There are some key matchups this week in the top 25. Again, you want to be in that top 20 to make the playoffs. The different shifting of playoff teams this year in the expansion. Top 25 is nice, but for a realistic chance to get into the playoffs, you want that top 20. And to start things off, St. Xavier, St. Francis, 25 versus 25. They are tied. There are ties for positions here in the NAIA. They are both tied for 25. Talk a little bit about what this matchup means.
I mean, we talked about it last week with the new playoff format. You have to be in top 25 is what qualifies you, but you realistically have to be inside the top 20.
Yep.
So if you're sitting there on the bubble already, that loss drops you back in the receiving votes ranking, which is 32-33. You're in massive trouble. A win today, you're right back up at the top 20. So yeah, for those two teams, St. Xavier, St. Francis, as we say, two names that you know if you watch much NAIA sports of any kind.
Yep.
It couldn't be much more crucial for the last day of September.
And a lot of these are household names. We talk about the expansion of the college playoffs, but more often than not, this top 25, it houses almost the same teams every year, just depending on who's where. Now number 14, number 15, College of Idaho 14 versus Rocky Mountain 15. It's a little bit higher in that top 25. It's another really tightly contested game in terms of standings.
And another Frontier League game.
Yep.
I mean, they are just starting to put together some impressive teams up there, to be certain. And again, a loss drops you out of the top 20. So it's September 30th. We say it doesn't really, doesn't quite feel like playoff season yet, but it's very crucial stuff. And College of Idaho coming off that big losing to Montana Tech.
Yep.
They really need a win today.
The Yotes, I always like saying. I always like saying their mascot. And then we'll drop down to just outside the top 25. Mid-American Nazarene and Graceland both receiving votes, trying to claw their way back into playoff contention. You got to start today with the win.
Yeah, you got to have one for certain today, because if you're already looking outside the top 25 spectrum, you got to get back in. Graceland, as you said, they're trying to earn their way back into this conversation as a team that's not a household name.
Right.
We throw that phrase around a lot, but it does matter. Reputation matters. We all know for better or worse when it comes to rankings.
And then number 6, Bethel, number 22, Cumberland's. What could be the game of the week just because of the conference implications that are in line. Both teams are 4-0 in the Mid-South Conference, and the winner today, depending on what could happen the rest of the season, they really are in the driver's seat to get that auto bid as the conference champion.
And like we're seeing right here in the Sooner already, once you have that tiebreaker on head-to-head, then you're not talking about just losing one, winning one. You're talking about needing 2 losses. So yeah, with 2 4-0 teams, this really is kind of the pendulum point for who's going to win that conference.
So that's what you need to keep an eye on this week for the games inside the top 25 in the NAIA. Now let's scale it back a little bit and talk about the Sooner Athletic Conference, of course, the conference that houses SAGU. We'll talk about the first matchup today, we're going to talk about last week. Sorry, getting ahead of myself here. We'll talk about last week, go over the picks that we had. I had a bad week. Tim had a good week. That's kind of all you need to know. We don't really need to go too deep into it. St. Thomas, we talked about this game already, defeating Texas Wesleyan. I picked Texas Wesleyan. Tim starting off strong with a nice little 1-0 to start the year. Wayland Baptist was another team that I picked. I, of course, was not familiar with Louisiana Christian and what they were bringing to the table, and all that is now a 10-game winning streak.
Yeah.
Pretty much all in conference, handling Wayland Baptist 60-14.
60-14. They are just looking smoking hot. They've got some huge games coming up against Texas Wesleyan and Ottawa, Arizona, to potentially be the surprise team to take this conference.
We're going to find out what the Wildcats are about here really sooner, much rather than later. They've moved up to number 21, so they are firmly in that top 25. Arkansas Baptist at OPSU. OPSU taking care of that one 31-19 up in the Panhandle. Always a tough place to play.
And I'll say, though, I don't mean to sound patronizing, but getting closer. Arkansas Baptist was losing every game by 42 years ago.
Yeah.
Now, last year we talked about, they're losing by 21. Now you're talking about 10-point games, 12-point games. They are inching their way up in the conversation here in the Sooner Athletic Conference.
And now we reach the last 2 matchups from last week. Langston defeating Texas College in a complete opposite of what we saw here in Waxahachie, 47-6, easily handling Texas College.
Taking care of business on the road like we were pretty sure they would.
Yeah. And then, of course, number 19, Ottawa of Arizona, coming into Waxahachie from Surprise, Arizona, winning 52-10, and we really wasn't close at all at any point in that game.
A game that SAGU never got it going from snap one on. The only bright spots we saw was the occasional thing on defense and a blocked punt on special teams. So there was some excitement there. Other than that, real tough. And I talked with Coach earlier about kind of getting back on the mojo going after that. We'll hear from him later about.
Yeah, I think we get to hear about that here
exactly.
in a little bit, for sure.
Hear from that about how you respond from a loss like that.
And then we'll move to what we can expect across the Sooner Athletic Conference this week. We are the early game here in Waxahachie. So at 6 p.m. tonight, Texas Wesleyan, number 19 Texas Wesleyan versus Arkansas Baptist. Tim, we're going to start making our picks here. You went 5-0 last week. I went, I believe, 2-3. Not a great week for me, admittedly, but we'll make our picks here today. I'm trying to bounce back a little bit. I'm going Texas Wesleyan versus Arkansas Baptist.
Yeah, I mean, not much of a discussion here. Texas Wesleyan, class of the conference at the moment, leading the way, probably handle this one pretty easily.
And then an interesting, to me, the most interesting matchup of the weekend is going to be Texas College versus North American. North American, of course, one of those probationary teams here in the Sooner Athletic Conference, trying to get their foot in the door. We don't really know what to expect out of this team.
Yeah, I mean, I can't pull my scouting report of North American out. But by the time they're playing here in a few weeks, I'll have more. There's just not much right now. I'm going with Texas College just because it's a team we know. We know they're gritty. You know, a lot of losses on their resume, but they're always showing up ready to play. So I'm going to go with the Steers today.
I am as well going with the Steers. Established program versus a program that we don't really know much about. You kind of have to take Texas College in that aspect. And then number 21, again, moving up out of the top 25 to number 21, an impressive Louisiana Christian team going up to the Panhandle at Oklahoma Panhandle State. 6 p.m. tonight. I'm going Louisiana Christian. They're going to extend that winning streak to 11 games, I think, tonight.
Probably pretty easily. As we always say, OPSU up there in the Panhandle, tough place to play, but it shouldn't be much of a problem for them. They've been road warriors for the last few years.
And then Wayland Baptist going on the road to number 19, Ottawa of Arizona, out in Surprise, Arizona. 9 p.m. Central Time kickoff tonight. I'm going to go Ottawa of Arizona. And I know Texas Wesleyan currently holds the keys to the driver's seat for the Sooner Athletic Conference, but I think Ottawa of Arizona could be just because I watched them last week. I think they're the best team in the conference.
I said last year they were the best team all year long, had a couple of close losses, and that's why they didn't go to the playoffs. It's going to be a big check for them. Obviously, Louisiana Christian just dropped 60 on Wayland Baptist. Yeah, scoreboard watching doesn't really matter on that level, but what can they match what they do? They'll definitely match with the win. The question is, to what extent?
And then, of course, here in just a couple of minutes, the matchup we're looking forward to in Waxahachie from Lumpkin Stadium. Langston from Oklahoma on the road here to Waxahachie. Tim, I took SAGU last week. I'm going to turn heel a little bit and go Langston. I think Langston ends that 3-game losing streak against the Lions. The SAGU Lions. I'm going to do that a lot today. It's the Langston Lions versus the SAGU Lions. They're going to end that 3-game losing streak to the Lions here today.
Well, then I got to move to the other side of the seesaw and just try to keep it all balanced. Look, there's no doubt what happened to SAGU last week, but they have responded so well from losses under Coach Ellis every single week. They've always come back better. Langston sitting here at 1-2 as well. They've struggled against the top teams that they've played, so it's going to be a very interesting matchup, and I think there's a good chance that SAGU finds a way to get back on their horse today. So I'm going to go out on a limb, and I'm going to pick SAGU to keep that win streak going.
That's the only one we have different today, Tim. You're just trying to protect that lead. That's all you're doing.
Well, no, see, I'm nervous. I'm like the pitcher on the mound with the no-hitter. I'm like, I got to think about every pitch now. I can't just throw it, so...
Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about some action here between Langston and SAGU here in Lumpkin Stadium, right here on the SAGU Sports Network.
When you trust someone with your money, you're part of something greater than yourself. You're investing in a principle that it takes individuals to create a community, that we are stronger when we support each other, that at some point, everyone will need a helping hand, that a meaningful purpose can be found in a calling. At AGCU, we're banking with a purpose, so you can live for yours.
At Raising Cane's, we're huge football fans, but we're also fans of your local fundraisers and fun runs, small victories, and big ideas. And yes, even the neighborhood animal shelter. I was getting to that. Plus over 30,000 other partners in the communities we serve. When you order our hand-battered chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade to cheer on your home team, you're also supporting your hometown. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
Welcome back to the SAGU Sports Network. Before we get into the matchup here today in Waxahachie, let's talk about the SAGU Lady Lions volleyball team. They played 2 games this past weekend, defeating Wayland Baptist and OPSU. 9-1 in conference, just behind Texas Wesleyan. And they got a little bit of jewelry this past weekend. They got their rings from the championship last season.
Yeah, they're undefeated regular season last year and got their conference championship ring. So congratulations. Nice to get that jewelry on, but they're still looking good this year. They're putting together another great squad. Like I said, starting off 9-1. Always such an exciting squad to watch.
Coach Hank Moore has that team firing on all cylinders, and it's always fun to watch the Lady Lions. Okay, here in Waxahachie, let's start with the keys of the game here for Langston. Tim, hit me first. What do they need to do with to walk out with a win today?
First thing, they got to be a little bit better on third downs. They're only converting 33% of the third down conversions this year. Now, last week, SAGU gave up 53%. So that's what you got to aim for. Get up towards that 50%. Keep your team on the field. Wear SAGU down on. It's another hot one today. That can be a big factor as you wear a team down with long drives. Second, dominate field position. They are averaging 22 yards per punt return. That's number 7 in the NAIA. SAGU's going to punt a couple of times today. I think we're safe to say. If you can flip that field position on some big returns, give your offense short field to work with against an aggressive SAGU defense, you're in great shape. Lastly, no run zone. We talk about no fly zones, no run zone. Dominate this offensive line, shut it down. In their loss 2 weeks ago, the Langston Lions gave up 331 yards rushing. Last week in their win, 18.
Yep.
So obviously a little bit of a discrepancy there for what's been successful. SAGU just had 25 yards on the ground last week. So just shut down the run from the start. Make the SAGU Lions beat you with their arms.
Let's go to the other sideline. The other Lions here, your hometown SAGU Lions. First and foremost, short memory. Last week happened. You got to move on. It's been 7 days since your last output on this field. Got to be better today. I just think short memory. Move on from last week. Second, clean it up. They're averaging just under 8 penalties a game here in the first 3 games. A lot of those procedural, not happening during the play, which sometimes, give or take, are a little bit more forgivable than an offsides or a false start or illegal formation, which we saw a lot of last week. We want to go ahead and clean that up. You can't be giving teams free first downs on defense. And then lastly, I'm going to say take one away, prepare for another. Langston does really well in the passing and the rushing attack. Really, really balanced team. If you can take away one of those and make them one-dimensional, I think you can walk out with a pretty good win today if you just take one of those away. But of course, now I know you got to catch up with Coach Ellis here just a couple minutes ago. Let's hear what Coach Ellis had to say about his team's game plan for today.
All right, Coach. So obviously last week, offense never really got on track. What did you work on this week to just get that offense moving forward?
Well, hopefully working on everything because we kind of sucked last week at everything. The guys played hard, though. I give them that credit. And so just understanding the critical moments in the game, when it's never a good time to jump off sides, but, when a game is kind of not going your way and it's 3rd and 5 and you jump off sides, give them a second chance, it's hard to come back from stuff like that. So just really want to make sure that we capitalize on not making those mistakes and fit stuff up the right way. And that's pretty much all you can do.
And on that defensive side, how, as a coach, I guess, especially a guy who played on defense, how do you temper that aggressiveness that you want to see, that you got to have, and avoid the mental mistakes at the same time? You don't want to leech the guy up too much.
Well, you make some calls, to be honest with you, to try to limit it, because you're right. You don't want to take the aggressive away from that player, right? But the player have to understand that, okay, I got to watch the ball. It's football one-on-one. I can't move until the ball moves. So that kind of stuff, being aware, being in that moment to understand it's 3rd and 4. So they probably going to hard count you. And this team today, due to the fact that we jumped off sides a couple of times last week, it's safe to say that they're going to hard count us. So if we jump off sides, it'll be all our fault.
Awesome, Coach. Thanks so much. Good luck today.
Thanks, man.
Awesome to hear. It's always nice to catch up with Coach Ellis, so thank you for that, Tim. Let's talk about some of the players that are going to execute the game plans. Talk to me about some players to watch for Langston here quickly.
Key players real fast. Tight end, Levon Williams. He's only played in the last 2 games. 10 catches, 179 yards, 2 touchdowns. Not a bad way to burst onto the scene. We didn't see SAGU attacked over the middle a lot last week, so it could be a big thing to try to target. Second, defensive lineman James Grace. He leads the team with 16 tackles, 2.5 sacks, and 3.5 tackles for a loss. Could be a big handful for the SAGU offensive line. This green offensive line to handle today. And lastly, quarterback Renty Martin, 438 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions on the year. Again, they've had 2 losses and then 1 big blowout that he didn't play a ton in, so hasn't had a chance to blow up those stats yet. May get his shot today.
We'll talk about here the SAGU Lions. First and foremost, quarterback Jamonte Gordon-West. Rough week last week for the offense as a unit, but he is the head of that unit, so look to see him bounce back today after a rough week last week as a unit. Secondly, defensive side of the ball. I liked the play out of Joseph Chavez and Noah Gibson last week. They're my last 2 players to watch here. Really were a bright spot for the SAGU defense. Not only stuffing the backfield, they were flying around in the passing passing game, just really all over the place, and it almost felt like it was positionless football from Joseph Chavez and Noah Gibson. So look for them to be playmakers as well today against the Langston Lions. Go ahead and throw us up on your TV, the YouTube app at SAGU Sports Network. You can watch full screen, don't have to watch on your phone, but hey, you can chat on your phone, and you might see your messages pop up on the screen during the broadcast. It's going to be a good one here today between the Langston Lions and the SAGU Lions. We're going to go live down to the field for the opening ceremonies right here on the SAGU Sports Network. And we are ready for action here in Waxahachie. It looks like your hometown SAGU Lions will be kicking off to the Langston Lions to start this one. They'll be kicking off right side to left side of your screen. A little windy here in Waxahachie, not really too much. I think it might be more windy up here in the booth than it is down on the field, but much better conditions today than it was last week, Tim.
Yeah, it was absolute scorcher, probably a feel of over 100 last week. Now we're down into the low 90s, so I'm not going to quite call it crisp and pumpkin spice season yet, but at the very least, manageable. A one-shirt type of game.
Kicking off for SAGU will be Jonah Osborne to return, Kevin Allen Jr. and Mikhail Nash for the Langston Lions. And we are underway. It will be fielded at about the 13-yard line, a short kickoff. Looks to cut up the middle. He's got it past the 30, down just shy of the 35. So good field position here to start for the Langston Lions. As we see them trot out on offense, a well-balanced attack. We will see what they can do against this SAGU defense.
Renty Martin, 6 foot, 185 sophomore, will take the reins today. Torrance Bardell has also gotten a good deal of playing time this year, so we may see some multiple quarterback situations. As actually, it looks like Torrance Bardell may have come out as the starter on this drive.
Start the game.
He will come out as the starter.
He's got 2 wide to his left, 1 to his right, 1 man in the backfield. Here on first down from the 34, he's back to pass, looks one way, back to the other, flips it out to the flat, off the fingertips of Tyler Travis. Incomplete, brings up 2nd and 10.
Good coverage by the SAGU defense here. He looks outside, nothing there, has to go for his safety option underneath. Tad bit too high, unable to pull it in.
Tyler Travis,
Second and 10 here for the Langston Lions. They elect to go tight here. 2 wide, 1 to either side here of Bardell. Sends a man in motion. And they will hand it off on second down up the middle, makes a man miss, gets past that initial line, but a really good open field tackle on that boundary by Jay Mosley.
That is a great tackle from Mosley because they create a gash right here for him to run through. And right here, this is going to be a first down. If Mosley doesn't corral him there, he's going to have a one-on-one opportunity with Isaac Gowdy. It's going to be a race to the corner and probably a first down run. Instead, it's 3rd and 6.
3rd and 6, 3 to the left, 1 to the right at the bottom of your screen here for Langston. Here is Bardell. Back to pass here on 3rd down. Deep drop. He's facing pressure. Steps out to his left. He's rolling left. Looking for a man. Lets it go. Incomplete. Short of the line to gain, or short of the receiver right at the sticks. And that will bring up 4th down, and SAGU facing a 3-and-out to get off the field on their first defensive series.
And it's one of your key players already, Joseph Chavez, who breaks through the line, forces Bardell out of the pocket, and that's when he was just scrambling for his life, having to throw across the field to pick it up. So yeah, a great first drive from the SAGU defense. They forced a number of 3-and-outs last week. It was just that when they gave the ball back to the offense, nothing was ever really going for them.
To punt, Octavio Resendez for Langston. Rugby style kick to the left off the left foot, end over end punt is going to land at the 30 and take a SAGU bounce, and it will be settled at the, call it 35-yard line. And that is where SAGU will take over at the 34 rather. So decent field position here for SAGU and this offense led by Jamonte Gordon-West, the lefty at quarterback.
And it still feels like we haven't seen him yet. Last week, the Spirit defense was so ferocious, there wasn't a whole lot of time for him to show off what he can do. So let's see if he can buy a little more time today with his offensive line to actually demonstrate his skills as a quarterback.
He comes out 5 wide, empty set here for Gordon West. He brings back Rose to the backfield, pistol formation. Will turn around, hand it off. Rose met immediately at the line. He might have actually lost one. We'll see where they mark him. He's going to say no gain down at the 36. 2nd and 10 incoming here for SAGU.
Darren Finley was the one hanging on to him, trying to see who made the initial contact, and it was Finley. Darren Finley shooting that gap. They're going to give him maybe a half yard, if anything, so it'll be 2nd and a very long 9.
That is essentially 2nd and 10. Good job to turn that into at least nothing and not a loss. Turn around, hand it off to Rose again. Rose fighting through contact, keeping the feet moving. And he's got 5 there on 2nd down. Makes it 3rd and 5.
And already you see a little bit of a different strategy this week, giving the ball to Rose with a running start. I think they know some of their mismatches up front, so just have your running back already moving forward. His feet can't be planted when he gets the ball in the handoff. He needs that full head of steam and picks up 4 there.
4 wide either side here for Gordon West. Sends a man in motion. Takes a snap. Will hand it off to Rose again. Rose met right at the line. Keeps the feet moving. Just comes up about 2 yards short on 3rd down. Want to make it 4th and 2. And out comes the punting unit for SAGU.
3 straight tries on the ground. They had one good run in between. Just not enough push up front from that offensive line. And we mentioned obviously the missing piece from last year, not having a guy like Keaton Dudek who can make magic happen when there's nothing there. DeKevion Rose still trying to find his way into that position, so it'll be another 3-and-out for the Lions.
Ryan Lewis on to punt. Busy man last week, gets this one away end over end. Will bounce at the 23 and take a SAGU bounce and keep on rolling. Ball down to the half-yard line. Ryan Lewis, a flag on the field right around where Ryan Lewis had his feet set.
This could be running into the punter. He was bumped into, and he was clearly in the punting lane when he did it.
Now running into the kicker.
Yep.
Defense number 41. 5 yards from the previous spot. Results in a first down.
Now, I'm never going to say turn down a penalty to keep the ball, but what a gorgeous punt that was. Absolute perfection, pinning them inside the 1-yard line. But you'll obviously take the ball at midfield after the ill-timed penalty. Will give you a fresh set of downs.
1st and 10 now from the 49-yard line. Back to pass. The lefty lets it go into the flat. Has his man. Paulo Didi makes a man miss. Out to the outside. Throws a stiff arm. Out of bounds. A big gain there on 1st and 10. Picks up 19.
Paulo Didi is going to cut inside, then take that step back where he has the position on the defender, sheds the first blocker, and then it's just shake and bake for an extra 7 yards down to the 32, 31-yard line, call it, into Langston field position.
The first down gained in this one goes to the SAGU Lions on the long pitch and catch to Paul Odidi. First down, he passes again. Trying to Odidi, and it's picked off through his hands. He's got a lot of grass in front of him. Down to the 40. Can he win the foot race? Down to the 50. The 40 cuts back inside. Makes a man miss to the 20. 10, 5. Touchdown, Langston. Pick 6 for Travis Martin. There is a flag at the 35-yard line, so we'll see what happens here. But as it stands, an interception for a touchdown for Travis Martin.
And we'll see what the call is. It could be in the area of holding, so the return may come back. Here comes the call.
After the interception, during the return, we had holding at the spot of the foul. Defense number 33. 10 yards on the spot of the foul. Automatic first down for Langston.
So the interception return for a touchdown is erased, but the turnover stands. Looks like this one's going to come out a little bit too high. Odidi unable to pull it in and waiting for it, easily intercepting it, Travis Martin. But the touchdown is erased, so SAGU catches a bit of a break there. So for Langston, well, obviously you have the one penalty that hurts you in the moment but ends up erasing what was an amazing punt. Now you'll get the ball back thanks to your defense, but another penalty erases the return for a touchdown. Still a big switch right there after SAGU had all the momentum, had a big first down, and were looking to take a lead.
Off the interception, here comes Langston. 4 wide, 3 to the left, 1 to the right. Back to pass on first down, swings it out to the flat. Setting up blockers, cuts it to the outside, and is brought down after a gain of, call it 6. That time on first down for Tyler Travis.
And that's a pure caravan play right there. Nothing fancy happened at all. Everybody locked up their defender, kept him in place, and just let the running back sort of wander downfield to pick up a nice gain on first down.
2nd and 4 here for Langston. Looking to capitalize after the turnover. And they will hand it off here on 2nd down. He's tripped up but keeps his footing. Fights off another man. He's got enough for a first down. A good run there for Tyler Travis. Fighting through contact and picking up enough for the first down and 5.
That took a lot of work. He's going to shed, almost gets brought down for a loss. Then fights through 3 SAGU Lions right there to make it a first down run. That is an impressive carry for the sophomore 5'8" running back.
New set of downs here for Langston. Their first down of this ball game. Man in motion. They will hand it off on the jet sweep. Cuts it upfield, lowers the shoulder. Not a lot doing there. Good job by SAGU to stay home, only giving up 2 on first down.
That's Brian Hansbard on the sweep, and that is always a dangerous play when you have a wide receiver running with a full head of steam. SAGU does a great job, though, of not getting blown off the line, holding their ground, and not allowing a lane to assemble.
2nd and 8 here for Langston. They stay in this 3 wide set, 2 to the right, 1 to the left here for Bardell. On 2nd and 8. Play action. He's back to pass. He lets it go deep down the middle of the field. Has his man at the 30. Throws a stiff arm past the 20. Fighting out of bounds. And then a mean stiff arm out of bounds down to the 11-yard line. Good ball from Bardell. Finds his man Kevin Allen Jr. for the first down into the red zone.
And you got like an X route going here. 2 receivers crossing paths. I think it fooled the defenders pretty substantially. I thought the pass was also going to Ivory Wilwright when it was drifting in there. I thought it was underthrown. And then here comes Kevin Allen Jr. sprinting underneath to catch it and take it inside the red zone.
They're going to mark him out at the 12, so they can still get a first down here. Ken Langston on first down. They will hand it off up the middle. Nothing doing there. Brought down quickly for no gain by a host of Lion tacklers. First one there looks to be Joseph Chavez. Brings up 2nd and 10.
As we have learned to expect, from Joseph Chavez.
And we have a Langston Lion down on the field. Looks like it is number 60, that's Bryson Bentley.
Bryson Bentley, the sophomore. Has his helmet off.
Let's go back to that throw to set them up here at the 12-yard line. How about that grown man move, that grown man stiff arm on the sideline from Allen Jr. is kind of planting the SAGU defender. This is a physical Langston team.
It's a statement when you don't go down as a receiver, when you've been run down to the corner and you're still saying, okay, you may stop me from going to the end zone, but you're going to be the one to pay for it, for having come after me. So, yeah, always a very, very strong team.
2nd and 10 here after the no gain on first down. They come out setting the pistol. H back to the right. They'll turn around. Play action. Looking to roll to his left. He kind of flips it. Little backhand flip to his man in the flats. That was his running back, DeHeaven Demina. Great name there.
And he had him from the start. SAGU completely missed him coming out of the... And if he had got that a little bit earlier, they probably would have picked up a first down or been around the goal line. Having to almost throw a shovel pass on the run. It's hard to tell if SAGU was getting enough pressure on him to maybe make him think twice about it. Just didn't come out in time, so it brings up a big 3rd down, 4-point play here.
Empty set here for Langston. Back to pass. Lets it go, looking to the corner of the end zone, has a man, he cannot bring it in. He was wide open in the corner of the end zone. Brian Hanspard could not bring it in. Let's see if it was broken up at the last second.
You're going to have a lot of hustle coming in here. It's not going to be broken up, just goes through his hands, but the SAGU defender did a good job of at least supplying that threat. Honestly, it probably would have been very hard to get his foot down inbounds anyways, heading full speed to the back of the end zone. But SAGU's defense does hold after the pick and the big throw to bring out the kicking unit for about a 24-yard field goal.
Yep.
Wind is in his face coming top to the bottom of your screen.
Octavio Resendez on to kick, and it is up, and it is good. And Langston will be the first on the board with a 29-yard field goal attempt here for Octavio Resendez. They break the scoreless streak so far here in the first quarter. Let's take a look at the trivia question here, Tim. When was the last time the Sooner Athletic Conference representative in the NAIA playoffs was not from Arizona? That, of course, referencing Arizona Christian University as well as Ottawa of Arizona, 2 powerhouses here in the Sooner Athletic Conference. Tim, do you have a guess?
I have a guess. I do, in fact, have a guess on this one, so I won't give it away quite yet. But yes, it is ironic that 2 teams from Arizona keep on winning the Sooner Athletic Conference. Although when you look at the Sooner Athletic Conference, it's made up of so many teams from Texas, Arizona, Louisiana now, Arkansas. Maybe, you know, I know NCAA is not using Southwest Conference anymore. We could just steal that back.
We'll get to your answer here in just a little bit. I've got a guess as well. I'm not sure how far back we have to go, though, Tim.
I'm doing the math in my head. I'm heading back in time in my head. The years sometimes blend together when you do this long
I'll tell you when the years started to blend together is when we were calling football games in April during that COVID year. That's when the years started to blend together.
Well, we actually blended a year together. We played the 2020 season and 2021, both in 2021.
Kickoff fielded from the 9 here, looking to get a gap. He cuts it to the outside. He's got a little bit of room here. Cuts it back inside and then flung forward. SAGU's got some really good field position here as Dylan Alford with a really good return. So only holding your opponent to 3 points off of a turnover is already a little bit of a morale booster. And now you've got good field position to start your second possession.
And this is just a top to bottom run, weaving his way through. Great blocking on special teams as well. We mentioned last week the one highlight of the week was the block punt. That wasn't a scoop and score, cut out of midair and scored. So SAGU special teams has had some big moments this year.
From their own 47, they will turn around, hand it off on first down. Rowe is looking for some room. There's nothing there. Langston stretches that out and brings him down for a loss of 2.
Yeah, nothing to do on that one but try to dive back to the line of scrimmage, trying to stretch this defense out. And you see almost immediately 5 white jerseys and only 1 gray jersey in between them and the running back, winning those battles up front to bring them up for a 2nd and long.
2nd and 12 incoming here for SAGU. 4 wide, 2 either side here for Jamonte Gordon-West. He's back to pass, quick hitter. He's got his man, Jamal Long. Gets back to a yard past that original line of scrimmage. Brings up 3rd and, I'll call it 3rd and 8. A little pickup of 4.
Quick hitch route there to your big, kind of a, he's not a tight end, but Jamal Long sometimes plays as a tight end, kind of at that slot situation. So we'll be 3rd and right at the edge of mid to long.
3rd and 8 here for SAGU.
An area SAGU, not that they succeeded many areas last week, but especially struggled on 3rd downs, only converted 1 of them out of a lot of opportunities.
4 wide, 3rd and 8, pistol formation. Gordon West takes a snap. He's back to pass. Rolls out to his left. Facing pressure. Spins away from it. Tries to flip it to Rose. That's a live ball. And it is recovered by Langston. The 2nd turnover for SAGU. And Langston set up with very good field position here off of the fumble.
And that's trying to do too much right there. Obviously, it's the running back's job here. He's got to get that chip. Does not get it because of that. Rose does not have time. And there's no communication there. Rose coming in trying to bail out his quarterback. His quarterback thinking get rid of it. At that point, you got to take the sack. Even if you had gotten that ball off to Rose, he's facing the wrong direction, 8 yards behind the line of scrimmage. Nothing's going to happen there. And instead, it's your 2nd turnover on 2 drives. An area, even though they lost big last week, SAGU did not have a turnover in that game. They have 2 so far today and have unfortunately squandered 2 good field position setups.
From the 37-yard line, Langston, here they come. 2 wide to the right. Tight formation. Back to pass. Lets it go. Has his man in the flat. Off his hands. It was a long throw to the flat to the opposite side of the field and just could not be brought in by Janelle Langley.
Has the open receiver. Even if he had caught, it's going to be corralled pretty quickly. But that's probably the 3rd drop we've seen so far from Langston receivers / running backs. That's one you do need to catch because even if you're only going to pick up another yard or 2, you're still looking at 2nd and 6 versus 2nd and 10.
2nd and 10. They will hand it off here, and he slips down. He got up thinking he could keep running, but blows the play dead, loses a yard, makes it 3rd and 11.
Yep, as soon as he hits the ground, it is there. So tries to plant his feet. Looks like they just come out from underneath him. We don't see that problem with SAGU's field here in Waxahachie. It's not an issue, so probably just trying too much speed. Cut on a dime, and sometimes that dime slips underneath your foot.
The turf playing area here from Lumpkin Stadium. I've always been a grass guy, Tim. I don't know about you. I've always been a grass guy, not turf.
Grass is so 20th century.
Call me old-fashioned. 3rd and long here. He steps up. Pocket collapses. He spins, makes a good move. And tries to get it to his running back, leaking out the backfield. And that's going to be a roughing the passer. This is unfortunately for SAGU going to be an automatic 1st down. This is such a tough call, Tim.
And this is going to be because picking up the penalty here is going to be Xavier Garcia.
Personal foul. Roughing the passer. Number 30. Defense.
And I don't think he knew that Torrance Bardell got rid of the ball. I think, you've been trying to bring this quarterback down for 4 seconds now. He keeps escaping, and you got a hold of him. You're driving him backwards, and he just kept pushing, and finally Bardell went down. So he did take him down well after the throw. So what was a huge stop is instead a devastating penalty. We heard Coach Ellis talk about that in the pregame of balancing that aggressiveness with, smart heads-up play, and that one is a killer.
On the 1st down carry goes for 1. That brings up 2nd and 9 here for Langston after the roughing the passer turns into an automatic 1st down. They come out 5 wide here. Empty backfield here for Torrance Bardell.
He can keep the play alive with his feet, as we've already seen. They may be counting on that.
And they will do a design QB run here. He's brought down quickly. Good job by the SAGU front to stay at home and let that go for nothing, making 3rd and 9.
That's all Joseph Chavez, I feel like. He is getting blocked handily, getting double teamed on that side. Oh no, I'm sorry, coming up the side, blocked well, and arm tackles him. That's how you know that you are a strong guy, when you can actually still pull off the arm tackle.
Empty backfield again here for Bardell. 3rd and 9 incoming. Under 5 to play here in the first quarter. Back to pass. He lets it go, looking deep to the end zone. Incomplete, well over out of bounds. And that'll bring up 4th down and 9 from their own 22.
So another big stand from this SAGU defense after the penalty. And it looks like there's still some discussion. I don't see...
Saw a bunch of substitutions happen
subs.
here. And they will bring on the kicking
They'll bring
unit.
on the kicking unit.
It looks like Torrance Bardell is the holder as well. I think that's maybe why
they
threw you off.
That's what it
bit.
was. I didn't see Bardell leaving, and I went, this is a tough situation. This is going to be a
44-yarder. I'm sorry, 34-yarder.
39-yarder.
I can't do math today, Tim. 39-yard field goal
you
here.
You got to add the 10, the 7. It's
when you add 10s and 7s, that's where you start to get. Octavio Resendez on to kick. We get a stoppage in play here.
It was going to be a delay of game on Langston.
Yep.
They got that timeout just in time. They are going to be kicking into the wind. So, all right, so here's the...
Let's go. Give your guess here first.
So, I do believe it's Langston.
I believe as well.
And I think it was 2017.
Jalen Moss, SAGU secondary legend Jalen Moss, says 2018. I think he's got the year right. I believe it is Langston as well from 2018. Oh, Joshua Neal, Langston versus Kansas Wesleyan. He gave us the matchup for 2018. I like that.
He wins then.
Dylan Prince with a 2018 as well. I believe it is Langston 2018. There it is, 8-0 in the Student Athletic Conference. I didn't think it was Texas Wesleyan. I thought that I remembered Langston making those playoffs.
Texas Wesleyan has yet to actually win the conference. They've been on the verge. So now it looks like we are going to be seeing
going for it here on 4th and 9, and SAGU is in shambles
SAGU
on their sideline.
They had their special teams unit out there. Now Langston will have to hold up since – now, actually, I don't know if they'd have to because that's not a substitution. That's a clean timeout.
Yes, it is. Coming out of the timeout.
So the referees slow it down and let SAGU do those subs, though. And SAGU's just going to have to use
we've got a timeout here. Coach Ellis calls a timeout. And now we're in a little bit of battle of wits here between the two head coaches. Now when does Langston come out in after the timeout? I think that SAGU only had 10 on the field for that 4th down play.
It was hard to tell with so many guys coming on and off. Obviously, the one thing you really want to avoid is 12 on the field, and you hand them a free play right there. So, yeah, we're really not sure what Octavio Resendez's range is, but that's going to be a 39-yarder, and that wind has actually picked up. If you catch the flags down there in the west end zone, it is definitely enough of a breezy day to impact that. So, at the moment, it looks like they are going to trot out and go for it. We'll see again. Obviously, we can't go based on quarterback.
We got to wait.
Got to wait for the full setup.
So and it looks like they bring back out the regular offense here for 4th down.
So a big 4th and long here. SAGU kept this drive alive on an ill-timed penalty. They have a chance to get Langston off the field without scoring a point.
4th and 9. Here is Bardell. 4 wide, 2 to either side. He's back to pass here on 4th down. Lets it go across the middle of the field. Has his man off his hands. Incomplete. SAGU will take over on downs. A big stop. Back-to-back turnovers, Tim, for the SAGU offense, only resulting in 3 points on the board for Langston.
And that is great coverage from Ronnie Murphy. That's that spot you're looking for on a 4th and 9. Get around 10, 15 yards down the field, zip in a pass. Yeah, so what a big stand from this defense. As you said, you've had 2 turnovers. You allowed the one big play before. You have an ill-timed penalty. And when it's all said and done, you're still only down 3-0. So it's up to this offense now to reward the defense for how they've managed the first part of this game.
Here's Gordon West, turns around, hands it off on 1st down. A hard hit there at the initial line of scrimmage. Here's Rose, keeps his feet, cuts it to the outside, gets down to the 40, makes a man miss, throws a stiff arm, hit out of bounds. A huge run on 1st down, picks up a ton, and that gets SAGU just shy of midfield.
I thought he was going to get blown up right here, run straight into the teeth of the defense, bounces off. That was going to be maybe a gain of 1. Instead, he gets to the outside corner, throws a little bit of a hurdle right there to get out to the 40-yard line. Best run we have seen from Takevian Rose this season.
1st and 10 from the 44 after the big gain by Rose. Here's Gordon West. He will hand it to him again. Lowers his shoulder this time. Nothing doing there as it brings about a 2-yard gain on 1st down. Actually, correction, that is Robert McGrew Jr. checking into the game.
Rose getting a little bit of a breather after that big run. SAGU has definitely been trying to establish that rushing attack so far today. Keep the clock moving and, try to get anything going and maybe buy yourself some time later in the game, as the defense has to start respecting the play action.
2nd and 8. Gordon West fakes the handoff, back to pass. Let's cross the middle field. He's got Jamal Long. Long bounces off a big hit, has enough for a first down. That's why you get the ball to your 6'4", 255 combo receiver tight end. Can handle the hits like that, and he just shook that off to him like it was a fly.
Yeah, and he's taking a trip off the field right now, so he may have shook it off in the moment. He might need a breather afterwards. But yeah, this is getting stopped short of a first down almost every time. Instead, shakes it right off.
Man.
Fights for the first down to the 42-yard line.
Back-to-back first downs here for SAGU. 3 to the left, 1 to the right here for Gordon West. He will turn around, hand it off. Cutting upfield, here's McGrew Jr. McGrew Jr. spins off a tackle. He's got enough for a first down. Robert McGrew Jr. moves the chains. 3 first downs in a row here for this SAGU offense, and they are churning, Tim.
And they're finally getting some holes. McGrew is actually going to find a hole to run through there. That sounds like, a parting of the Red Sea type miracle based on how it was going last week. And then he gets that quick, tight spin to get the extra yardage. We do have a Langston player down to the 32-yard line. And that is going to be number 2, Jalen Kincaid. And you never like seeing a player down like that. He's holding his right knee. You hate to see anything knee or below. Those are just the worst kinds of injuries.
And I'm not sure how involved with the play he was there. It was up the middle, and he went down closer to that Langston sideline. We absolutely hope he's okay.
Obviously in a lot of pain, but is going to get off the field with just modest help from his training crew. Almost on his own power, so that's good to see at least. But obviously in a lot of pain after whatever happened at the end of that run from Robert McGrew.
1st and 10 now from the 30-yard line. SAGU looking to avoid a 3rd turnover here. They had 2 in a row. Again, only resulting in 3 points for Langston. But after 3 first downs in a row here for SAGU, they look to be rolling here on offense. 4 wide, 2 either side here for Jamonte Gordon West out of the pistol. He's back to pass. Swings it. Looks like it was tipped at the line. Falls incomplete.
Might have been tipped a little bit and just a little bit outside. You're going for that quick hitter. You're counting on your receiver to be a little bit closer to the sideline. Yeah, I don't think it got tipped. I think it was just trying to hit him right there at the 25. And he'd gone a little bit too far down the field. I automatically assume the quarterback's right. That's not always the case.
2nd and 10 now, still from the 30-yard line. Same formation, 4 wide, 2 either side from the pistol here for Gordon West. He will turn around, hand it off. Plants the foot, goes nowhere. That is going to go for a gain of nothing on first down. That was Robert McGrew Jr. Brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, Langston's line, after giving a couple of big runs on this drive, stands strong there and brings up a big 3rd and 10, probably right on the very edge of field goal range for the Lions. We haven't really seen a ton from Jonah Osborne yet, the freshman kicker, to know what his range would be in this situation. The wind would be at his back, but you definitely don't want to be trying a 47-yarder.
3rd and 10. Here's Gordon West. Steps up. He's going to take off. He's got the wheels to get it, and he's got enough for the first down. Needed 10, got 11. That'll move the chains here for SAGU. Their 4th first down of this drive, and now they are officially in the red zone.
Huge conversion here, and I love this move. That slight hesitation, keep glancing upfield enough. He knows that he's not going to lose to the linebackers. He knows he has the linebackers beat to the corner. It's about those DBs down there, and you keep your arm turned just enough to where they can't fully break off yet. That buys you that half second you need to pick up those extra yards. Huge 3rd and 10 run from Jamonte Gordon West.
First down from the 19-yard line. They will turn around, hand it off to Kevian Rose. Kevian Rose cuts upfield, and it takes a host of Langston defenders, but a good carry there on first down brings up 2nd and 3.
Rose showing some strength in this game. He started this drive off by breaking the tackle at the line of scrimmage, fights through a couple of Langston Lions there and gets an extra yard or two out of it. 2nd and 4 as we're under 1 minute to play in the first quarter.
And gave him a gain of 6, so 2nd and 4 incoming. SAGU has to run at least one more play here in this first quarter. We'll see what they draw up here. Empty backfield here for Jamonte Gordon-West. 5 wide, 1 in tight. He sends a man in motion. Across his face, back to pass. He's going to take a quick shot to Odidi to the end zone. Odidi goes up, brings it in. Touchdown, touchdown Lions, your SAGU Lions, with the first touchdown of the day. Beautifully placed ball from Jamonte Gordon-West to Paul Odidi, his favorite target for the touchdown.
And that is why you employ a 6'5" receiver named Paul Odidi. He is built for that fade route. He gets a one-on-one on the outside. Gordon West knows he just has to put it in the right spot, and he's going to go up and get it. Paul Odidi emerged last year really as one of the better receivers we've seen in recent memory, and he pulls in the Lions' first touchdown at home this season.
Jonah Osborne upped the extra point up, and it is good. 7-3, SAGU leads. A good ball from Jamonte Gordon-West. Left it up for Paul Odidi, and he did the rest of the job, bringing it in. Again, like you said, for SAGU's first offensive touchdown here at home to start in the 2023 season. There's another trivia question, Tim. I love these. How many SAGU players have recorded at least one reception this season?
Well, I've got the sheet in front of me.
Okay.
I could just turn to page 3 of this handy-dandy notebook here. So I'll let the crowd weigh in on this one.
Let's get your answers in the chat, and we'll see who's right or who's closest. You might get it spot on. Well, we might not get anybody with the exact number, and we'll see who's closest. We got to go Price is Right rules, though. Nobody goes over. You can't go over.
$1, Bob.
Well, we know Paul Odidi has one. We know Jamal Long has one. So there's 2. I'll give you 2 for free.
What a great drive from SAGU after, kind of a breaking out of all the struggles they had last week, starting off this week with 2 turnovers, all getting sparked by that Dakevian Rose run. But that wasn't the end of it all. They still had to do a lot, and a couple of big third down conversions, and you just love seeing that connection already with Jamonte Gordon-West, the freshman, tossing it in there to your junior wide receiver in Paul Odidi. I don't want to lose an year of eligibility there. You love seeing them already start to have that kind of connection, that sort of trust with quarterback to wide receiver.
Low line drive will be fielded at the 9-yard line, looking to set something up here, trying to follow the blockers, but brought down quickly by SAGU, ends up ultimately getting to about the 27-yard line. And that is where the Langston Lions will take over here on offense. Tim, that last drive, it featured something that we haven't seen yet so far here at home. That was chunk plays. 3 first downs in a row on really long plays. Of course, the Dakevian Rose kind of kicked it all off, then found one to Jamal Long, and then another run from Robert McGrew Jr. We didn't really see chunk plays last week.
We didn't see much of anything last week, to be fair. And honestly, hopefully going forward, what you see is that last week was maybe the best team in the conference playing their best game of the year, and you playing your worst game of the year. And you kind of hope that's what it is, that much of an anomaly as you move forward.
They will hand it off here on first down, and he is brought down for a short game. We'll call it 1, maybe half a yard, brings up 2nd and 9.
Dalton Spencer's the one who's going to come around the outside, wrap up the running back, bring him down, and that is the end of the first quarter, where the SAGU Lions own a 7-3 lead despite having a -2 turnover differential in that quarter. No other way to write that headline but a win for SAGU with the way the game started. A couple of very ill-timed penalties so far for Langston. Obviously the biggest one, the hold on the interception that erased the touchdown. They kept the SAGU drive alive, and then SAGU on their side kept a Langston drive alive on a roughing the passer penalty, and the defense mopped it up. Did an excellent job of handling that situation, and that's where we are now. as we start off the second quarter. SAGU holding the lead, and as we mentioned, holding a 3-game win streak in this matchup. That's significant because up until that first win of the 3-game win streak, SAGU had never beaten Langston.
A lot of heartbreaking losses. Not just at Langston, but we've witnessed our fair share of heartbreaking losses to this Langston squad here in Waxahachie.
I'm pretty sure I could still walk to the exact spot on the field there at the 7-yard line where SAGU's drive for the conference title ended by inches. I say inches, an inch off the receiver's fingertips, what would have been a game-winning, conference-winning, playoff-clinching touchdown. But I don't think about that often.
The teams have swapped sides here. The wind now at Langston's back. 2nd and 9 incoming for the Langston Lions. Back to pass. He's going to let it go across middle. Has his man as he just sat in the zone and trying to make a couple of people miss. He might have done himself more harm than. Now it looks like he's going to have enough for a first down. I thought maybe he went back. That was Ivory Willwright, the 4th. Yeah, they're going to move the chains.
He did lose 2 yards, though, after making the nice grab over the middle. Picked up almost to around the 40-yard line and turned back around trying to make more happen. And they do give him the first down, just barely.
5 wide here now for Torrance Bardell. 3 to the left, 2 to the right. He is back to pass. Clean pocket, lets it go across middle field, has his man into the past the 40, into SAGU territory. And that's a good ball from Bardell. We've seen him deliver a couple lasers so far across the middle here for Langston. And we've got a SAGU player slow to get up here.
And that is Isaac Gowdy, who's going to come in and make the final hit. And he is still not getting up. In a lot of pain as the receiver was at full speed. Gowdy was the one that threw him off balance.
And call it what it was, Tim. That was a touchdown-saving tackle from Gowdy.
It absolutely. He was about to break free if Gowdy hadn't been there, but in a lot of pain, face down after that hard hit.
Like you said, has not moved, has been face down on the turf. We hope he's okay. Seen a couple of players banged up here so far.
It has been a physical game so far. Nothing extracurricular by any means, but just hard hitting plays. A couple of guys leaving, in clear pain and discomfort, not just a cramp or something like that. And onto his back now.
It always is. These Langston SAGU games are always physical. I know we joked about the amount of quote-unquote rivals that SAGU has in pregame, but at its core, this SAGU football program, it has always been Langston. And like you said, back to the CSFL days, both of these teams know each other very, very well. And I've had former roommates and friends on SAGU football teams in the past, and they say waking up on Sunday morning after a SAGU game, it feels like you just went 12 rounds with how physical these games are. And
there's a lot of history to it, because you mentioned back to the CSFL. I believe SAGU, Langston, and Texas College are the only 3 teams still left from those early days of getting that. And that's what I'm worried about right there, is the trying to lay the stiff arm. He hits him in the head and then hits the shoulder right afterwards. He is sitting up. He's been moving, so we're not concerned about that. It's possible just a little bit of having his head jostled, followed by a real severe shoulder stinger, shaking his head as the trainers are attending to him, and he's going to get up.
Isaac Gowdy, a graduate senior for this SAGU team, has been a playmaker and cornerstone of this SAGU secondary ever since really the day he walked on the campus. This is a mighty blow for the SAGU defense if he cannot continue the rest of this game. And I would venture to say he may not be back in this one as he's slow to walk off the field.
Yeah, he looked a tad disoriented as he stood up. So you hate to see that. Again, a key piece of this secondary.
So they move from Isaac Gowdy to the freshman Ronnie Murphy, wearing number 23, will replace Gowdy.
Murphy already had the big pass breakup on the last drive on the 4th and 9 play. So
1st and 10, empty backfield. He loads it up, looking to the corner, and well past everybody. Maybe a little bit of wind factor there from Bardell, now with the wind at his back.
Unleash that. I think it's also trying to put it in a place where only a receiver can get it, but nobody was getting that one. 6 yards overthrown. As Langston has, you can say officially now, after two attempts, has struggled once they've crossed midfield. They had to settle for the field goal inside the 10-yard line and then had the turnover on downs last time. That's something you want to get away from very quick. You can't start establishing, making good drives and not walking away with enough points.
They hand it off here on second down. That is swallowed up quickly. In fact, for a loss for the SAGU front, that brings up 3rd and 11.
And it's Joseph Chavez again. And he's blocked. That's what's most impressive. He is being blocked there. He's not coming free by any means. He is fighting through his offensive lineman and still laying a solid hit, even without that momentum of coming in with heavy pursuit.
3rd and 11 here for Langston in this offense, trailing 7-3. They fake the handoff. Back to passes Bardell. He's going to load up and go long. Look into the end zone. Overshoots his receiver. But, Tim, I'll tell you, he was open. If he could have just maybe taken a yard off that throw, that's 6.
It was going to be tight as it was at the very back of the end zone. Bardell does not have a problem with an arm here as he uncorks this one. That's about around a 60-yard pass where it landed. Now, it needs to be around 56. If it had been a 56-yard pass and hit him in the back of the end zone, then it's a touchdown. Instead, for the second drive in a row, Langston looks like he's going to go for it on 4th and 11.
Now, this is interesting. They could elect to pin SAGU back potentially inside their own 5-yard line.
It's that 30 to 40 maroon zone area.
It's tough. Tough call here. But on 4th down, back to pass. Bardell has a clean pocket. He lets it go down the middle of the field into the end zone. Touchdown, Langston goes up and beats his man in a good pitch and catch from Torrance Bardell to Kevin Allen Jr., who's been his best weapon and favorite receiver to start this game, and this has given Langston the lead right back.
The 4th down call pays off, and they go back to the deep pass well for the 3rd time, and this time he tempers it off perfectly, drops it in right inside the end zone, right where his receiver needed to be, and it held up enough to force the defender where the defender had to kind of lose balance in order to get back on there. So it is a 38-yard touchdown pass to put Langston ahead as they opt not to try to pin SAGU deep, and it pays off big time.
Yes, it does. That gives Langston the 10-7 lead here with 13-16 left to play in the first half. And Tim, we're watching Torrance Bardell here. We didn't know coming into this game if we were going to see Renty Martin or Torrance Bardell, but I'll tell you, Torrance Bardell looks really good. He throws a really good ball, and he put it right where only his receiver could get it.
And he had a couple of great throws on that drive, obviously, to get him down to that position. And then the first two, he overthrew by a good deal. It's almost like he had to adjust, reframe where he was, and the third one was perfect.
Looks like we're going to get an answer for our trivia question. How many SAGU players have recorded at least one reception in this 2023 season? Let's see the answer. I gave you 2 for free. So 13 different receivers, different players. It could have been running backs, tight ends, however you want to see it. 13 different players have at least one reception this season. So not a bad job of the SAGU quarterbacks to spread the ball around. Not feeding one horse too much, but feeding a lot of mouths.
Yeah, getting the ball around a lot. And there's a lot of different players that can step up and make a catch. So you look at the stats now, Langston goes over 140 yards with that drive. So a lot of yards for Langston. Luckily for SAGU, there's only 10 points to show for it thanks to a third. We got
a little pooch kick. It's a live ball. Langston has it, and they've got the ball right back. A little surprise onside kick, and SAGU was not prepared. Langston takes over at the 40-yard line. How about that, Tim?
Go for it on 4th down and then come out, and that's a straight-up onside kick. Langston knew exactly what they were doing there. SAGU with no response. They loaded up that left side, ran everybody there to where SAGU had no one in the vicinity. Langston takes over at the 40-yard line, looking to push their lead even further.
I'll tell you, Quentin Morgan, what a call there.
Yeah.
What a call to steal a possession here from SAGU.
And you know what he's basically saying there is, well, I just went for it on 4th down, where if I hadn't converted it, I would have had to give him the ball at the 40-yard line anyways. Let's try this, kind of the 20-yard onside kick, to where if we don't get it, well, all I did was I got the touchdown and gave him the ball where they're going to have it before. He's just playing 2 for 1 here.
Executed to perfection by this Langston special teams unit. Back to pass. Bardell steps up on 1st down. Looking to let it go. He does let it go. Contact and a flag will come out. The defender there early. And this should result in an automatic first down for Langston and SAGU. All out of sorts right now.
Going to be Ronnie Murphy with the pass interference.
Number 23. It's going to be a spot foul, automatic first down.
And he did get there well too early.
Just a half step too early, we'll call it.
And it's almost less about when you get there and more what impact you make. And you make that level of impact before the ball has arrived, you're going to get flagged every single time, especially when the receiver's standing still. You get away with more when you're running full speed. So SAGU's second penalty of the game, and this one gives Langston a free 11 yards.
They will hand it off here on first down, then a decent carry. They're keeping the pile moving, though. The feet keep churning, and the yards keep coming. That'll be a gain of, call it 7 on first down, make it 2nd and 3.
Didn't have to do much on the ground at all on their previous drive. Now they get to go to it a little bit more, and they have been fighting hard. It's really not even a SAGU player in the way. He's having to fight through his own offensive lineman, trying to get out of the way. A big Jimmy Lee, 6'7", sophomore for Langston.
2nd and 3, they will hand it off again. He's got room. He's got space into the open field. Down inside the 10, down at the 8-yard line. It'll be 1st and goal here for Langston, and SAGU is in danger of falling down 17-7 here in the first half.
Tyler Travis is a tough running back to bring down. Just you get 5'8". Sometimes that can be such an asset as a running back when you've got that low to the ground energy and unable to, wrap up.
Hand it off again. This time he's wrapped up, brought down for a loss. Who else? One of the guys we talked about pregame, Noah Gibson, getting the job done there by himself in the backfield.
First time we've really called his name today. He sheds his man and has to go a little judo style, saying, "No, I've seen you escape several times today. It's not happening here." Throws him for a loss on first down. This is a big moment right here. If you can hold Langston to a field goal, then you're still looking at a one-score game. You let them go score a touchdown down 10. That changes the whole dynamic of the rest of this half.
2nd and goal now from the 11, effectively 2nd and 11. They will fake the handoff. Back to pass. Bardell rolls out to his right. Tried to get at the corner, tried to find his man in the flat that time, falls incomplete. Ivory Willwright, the 4th, the intended receiver.
Pressure coming underneath from Braxton Bailey that forced him out of the pocket, and great coverage downfield. There was nowhere for Torrance Bardell to go, and so a 3rd and goal now from the 11. As you see here, just great stacking. You got your linebackers underneath, blanketed up top, and enough pressure coming that he finally had to get rid of it. So another 4-point play here for SAGU.
5 wide here for Bardell. Back to pass here on 3rd down. Lets it go. Has his man across the middle of the field. Lowers the shoulder again. Powers his way into the end zone. Ivory Willwright, the 4th, takes the pass from Bardell from 11 out and puts 6 more up on the board for Langston.
And barely got that ball out in time as he looks like he's going to be wrapped up at the 4. That is a sheer force of will touchdown to fight through 2 or 3 different SAGU Lions for the big 3rd and goal conversion. Chance now for Langston to go up by 10. SAGU has too many men on the field. They'll barely get their guy off in time.
Extra point is down, and it is up, and it is good. And Langston will take a 17-7 lead. 14 unanswered points here for this Langston Lion team.
And in very quick succession, thanks to that onside kick. For SAGU's offense, you've only had the ball 3 times now. You've had 2 turnovers and a touchdown. The last time you scored your touchdown, you took the lead. Now you're getting the ball back down 10. That is such a tough blow to give your team the lead. And before you even get a chance to drive again, you're not just behind, you're behind by 2 scores with just over 11 minutes left in the half.
Now, of course, coming out here on kickoff return, SAGU's got to be wary.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, they'll never see it coming the first time. Well, would they ever see it coming a second time? It's like playing rock, paper, scissors and going with rock 10 times in a row.
I wonder if it's any relation. Kevin Allen says, let's go Kevin Allen, number 11. Of course, Kevin Allen Jr. we've seen be the favorite target from Torrance Bardell. So thanks for watching. I assume Kevin Allen, I don't want to say senior, but we'll say Kevin Allen relation to Kevin Allen. Here down 17-7, SAGU prepares to return, and they will indeed kick it deep this time with the wind at their back, and it goes through the end zone for a touchback, so SAGU will take over at their own 25-yard line.
Very big drive coming up here. SAGU's offense has actually looked pretty sharp. They had a good drive going on their first drive of the game. Great touchdown drive their last time on the field, but some ill-timed turnovers have really hurt them. We do have a flag down on the field. It's near the SAGU sideline, but on Langston's side of the field at the 40-yard line.
Maybe get Langston for an offsides on the kickoff here. That's usually what you see. Where
the head official is literally holding his hands up like, oh, well, what's the call, guys? What are you flagging?
Outside. Kick it team, number 34. They will take possession of the ball 5 yards beyond the 25-yard line. So a free 5 yards for SAGU off of the offsides. But as I was saying, this is a big drive here because of what's come before it. You've looked sharp. You've got to, first of all, in order to be a winning football team, you got to look sharp more than just a couple times a game. You got to look sharp all game long, but especially now that you've had a couple of very poorly timed defensive miscues, you've got to find a way to put some points up on this drive.
1st and 10 from the 30. They'll turn around, hand it off. Cuts it up to the middle, nothing doing there. We'll call it a gain of 1, maybe a half a yard there on 1st down. We'll call it 2nd and 9.
It's kind of been feast or famine with the rushing attack for SAGU. It's either stopped at the line or breaking for 8, 10, 15 yards.
2nd and 9 here for SAGU and this Lions offense. They come out 3 wide, 2 to the right, 1 to the left. H back in here for Gordon West. He will turn around, hand it off again up the middle. This time the Red Sea parts. He's got enough for a 1st down. DeKevion Rose hit the hole and moves the chains.
He's got some very good acceleration out of the blocks, and that's what you need when you're having to move quickly with an offensive line that's still trying to gel there on the front. As soon as he gets the ball, he is moving at a full head of steam, makes him harder to bring down, and when he gets to that second level, he's already getting close to the 1st down. So 2 carries, picks up right at 10 yards up to the 40.
1st and 10 from the 40-yard line. Here's Gordon West. Sends a man in motion. Will turn around, hand it off. Trying to spin off a tackle, but not doing it successfully. That's going to go down for a loss of 1. Brings up 2nd and 11.
Yeah, trying something a little bit different with this kind of, trying to get maybe an off-tackle type run. SAGU has not really tried to run to the sideline so far in this game. It's all been straight up the gut. Be interesting to see if they start trying, as they wear at the middle of the Langston defense, if they start trying to attack more to the edges, some pitch plays, some off-tackle runs, see if they can beat them to the edges after they wear them down in the middle.
2nd and 11. Here's Gordon West. Back to pass. Pumps. Steps up in the pocket. And he fumbles the ball on the ground. Langston has it. They're moving down past the 40. Tried to keep his feet, but that is the 3rd turnover of the game for this SAGU offense. And Langston sets up in SAGU territory.
It all kind of fell apart. The pocket collapses around Gordon West. Trying to fight for anything to, maintain a makeable 3rd down. Instead, the ball is punched loose. And SAGU's offense now has turnovers on 3 of their 4 drives, and their 5th drive never happened because of an onside kick. Those big flip plays are absolutely crushing SAGU today. As other than that, they've played straight up. If you just look at straight up, football without the big plays in between, they've played completely evenly, but they are in big danger now of finding themselves in a very deep hole thanks to just way too many miscues. Checking in with SAGU scores from around the campus. SAGU women's soccer beat the Lady Rams 2-1. Today, the number 25 ranked SAGU Lady Lions volleyball team took down Oklahoma Panhandle State in 4, and men's soccer also beat Texas Wesleyan 2-1. With obviously last night SAGU sweeping Wayland Baptist. So hey, It's 4 straight wins right there over on SAGU's campus. It's going to take a little bit of work right now and a big defensive stand to try to make that a clean 5-0 slate on that screen.
As it stands, it'll be 1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. Sends a man in motion. Bardell hands it off. It's going to be a reverse. And he's back to pass. He's going to let it go deep down the field. It's covered well, but goes up and brings it in. Touchdown, Langston. What a play. A one-play trick play. A flag is down on the field, and that could ruin what was a masterfully executed play for Langston.
And if I had to guess, it's illegal man downfield.
Ineligible players.
Wow.
Offense, downfield. 5 yards from the previous spot. Replay the down.
But what a catch to go up and get it for Ivory Wheelwright.
What a catch, and what a throw from Kevin Allen Jr. That's
he
a
does
wide
everything,
receiver.
Tim.
It's a wide receiver uncorking a perfect pass over 40 yards. But the problem with those plays is they take so long to develop that's what you end up sometimes, is the offensive lineman wanders downfield, is trying to block his guy too far, and he ends up downfield too far. So, while SAGU has been absolutely crushed by, of course, 3 turnovers, that is now the second Langston penalty that has erased a touchdown. Not just a touchdown, but a big play touchdown.
It's 1st and 15, but the chains are messed up here. The chains reset, so the chains look like it's 1st and 10. I think that they realized the error, but it is 1st and 15.
It looks like the chains have been dropped after the touchdown or already been moved down the field maybe to line up for the extra point. So, yeah, we got it all set now. Ball's supposed to be at 37. Langston's at 42, 1st and 15.
There we go.
All figured out in short order.
So a beautiful trick play. Does nothing after the ineligible receiver downfield. And here on 1st and 15, it is a quarterback keeper. He's tripped up and brought down after a gain of 1. Make it 2nd and 14.
And, of course, rules are rules, but it is always that, the most procedural of procedural penalties, the one that the person who doesn't know football at the couch goes, wait, what penalty is that? Explain that one to me. And it happened literally 40 yards away from the catch in the back of the end zone. So those just kill you as a team to go, man, we didn't have to do that. That didn't have to happen. It wasn't like we had to hold to keep the play alive.
2nd and 14, designed quarterback keeper, cuts upfield, a flag comes flying. But as it stands, it'll go for a gain of about 2 and make it, or a gain of 3 and make it 3rd and 11, but we'll see what the call is here.
This is on Langston. It gives SAGU an interesting choice whether or not you bring up the 3rd and 11 or try to move them further back. Still trying to break up the pile here as they discuss the penalty.
Holding. Offense, number 71. Offense, 10 yards. Previous spot. Replay, 2nd down.
Coach Ellis elects to accept the penalty that was on Cameron Moore. That'll move him back even further, make it 2nd and 23.
Like I said, it's an interesting decision because you're about to look at the 3rd and 11. Now you look at a 2nd and 23. Again, you'll find out on this play whether it was the right decision or not immediately. I will say we've seen Langston already convert some 3rd and longs on these last few drives. So I think
fourth downs.
Oh yeah, and I forgot it was the 4th down. That was a touchdown. So yeah, I think Ellis might be thinking, let's give my defense all the room to work what they need.
Back to pass. He completes it across the middle of the field. He cuts upfield, and not too much different. It'll make it 3rd and 13 as opposed to 3rd and 11.
So 2 yards in the grand scheme of things, so it'll pretty much a break-even situation, but still a 3rd and long for Langston in a huge drive for SAGU after their 3rd turnover on the half, already down by 10 points. You just can't dig this hole much deeper. You can't find yourself down 3 scores.
3rd and 13 here for Langston. 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Back to pass is Bardell. It looks like they're trying to set up a screen, and they do complete it. And SAGU does phenomenally, only letting it go for 1 yard. Brings up 4th and 12. That looked like it was set up for a second there, Tim, but SAGU does a good job of closing in on the receiver.
And some high IQ play right here from SAGU. You see right here, they can start pursuing. Instead, he plants his feet. Noah Gibson just plants his feet and says, I'm not going to let you scramble. I'm not going to let you get to the edge. I'm not going to let myself get taken out of the play if this ball does go underneath. I'm just going to stand between you and where the line of scrimmage is.
Just get in the passing lane. Maybe force a throw to be offline. That's a good job by Gibson.
So a high IQ play to not play too aggressive, knowing the scenario. So Langston will bring the punt unit on, and the punt is away.
The lefty gets it away, end over end punt. It is going to bounce into the end zone. SAGU will take over at the 25 or the 20-yard line. All in all, it ends up being a 19-yard punt. So good job by the defense. Again, off a turnover. No points for Langston.
Massive stand from the SAGU defense. Again, after giving up those 2 quick touchdowns, one on the short field after the onside kick, to be able to come right back out just a few plays later, again with the ball at the 37-yard line. Big stand. And again, for Langston, though, you have now scored 2 touchdowns that have been taken away with penalties. You had to settle for a field goal on the one after what was nearly a pick 6. So that is 11 missing points due to penalties.
Back to pass here on first down, looking across the middle field. He's got Jamal Long spins and is brought down just shy of the 40-yard line. That'll move the chains here for SAGU as they look to put some potentially points up here as we get closer to the later parts of here for the first half.
Great job by Gordon West to zip that one in, and then Jamal Long has the positioning, gets around his defender to pick up the extra yardage. Solid pass over the middle by Gordon West. He's had a bit of a rough day with 2 fumbles and a pick, but trying to get back on the horse.
They let it go, almost intercepted off the hands of the floating linebacker, or rather floating part of the secondary. It was
Braylon Hood Colbert.
Yeah, Braylon Hood Colbert just kind of floating underneath it. Almost brings it in.
Yeah, that would have, had he been able to keep his feet when he caught it, that could have been a pick 6.
It was tough. Man, right out. He just kind of floated right underneath the coverage there. Fortunately for SAGU, it brings up 2nd and 10. It was not an interception going the other way. Turn around and hand it off here on 2nd down. Trying to make something happen and nothing doing as DeKevion Rose.
Got thrown for a 4-yard loss as immediate pressure up the middle from, pretty much all 4 pursuing off defensive linemen. Brings SAGU up with a 3rd and long at their own 35-yard line.
Correction, Robert McGrew on the carry. 3rd and 13 here. We're approaching 5.5 left to play in the first half. Back to pass, Gordon West facing immediate pressure. He steps up, has a guy on his ankles, flips it out, has a man fighting, cutting upfield, and he's got enough for the first down. What an effort from Gordon West. And then the receiver on the opposite end doing a good job of making their way past and through defenders for the first down. I believe it was Robert McGrew Jr.
McGrew Jr. coming out of the backfield as the running back option. That looked absolutely dead to rights, and as Gordon West was rolling out, I'm thinking, don't do too much again. That's how we've had a couple of these turnovers. Is able to barely flip it out, and look at where the ball was placed. McGrew got every last inch he needed and not an inch more to pick up that huge 3rd and 13.
1st and 10, new set of downs. They will turn around and fake the handoff, back to pass, rolling across the body. What a catch! Goes up and gets it. Jamal Long, are you kidding me? The 6'5 receiver puts his right paw in the air and brings it in, and there is a flag on the far side of the field. Are we going to see this play wiped away?
Ineligible.
Oh, no. You know what, Tim? On the highlight reel for Jamal Long, you'll never know that was a penalty. Go ahead and bookmark that one, young man. An incredible catch from Jamal Long, unfortunately negated by the penalty.
You're about to start being able to make a highlight reel from this game, from all the things that have happened that have been erased without penalties. Hate to see it in the exact same one. Ineligible man downfield.
Wow.
As that play takes that hair too long to develop as he's trying to get his man. Back-breaking penalty for the Lions.
A long play for each team taken off the board due to ineligible receiver downfield. Brings up 1st and 15. Here's Gordon West. Lets it go down the middle of the field. Has a man, just cannot hit him, a little far out in front of his intended receiver, Colby Tanner. Just a hair outside his reach, and that's a touchdown if it connects.
Absolutely. Tanner wide open over the middle. He might have had a little bit of trouble with his man up top, but that's going to be a first down inside the 30-yard line. And he's probably fighting all the way to the end zone. 2nd and 15 for the Lions now. Needing to keep this drive going after that huge third down conversion. You get all that momentum, and then you have that amazing play, and it's all for naught.
2nd and 15 now for SAGU as we are just about 4 minutes, 10 seconds left to play here in the first half. Back to pass. Gordon West avoids pressure, rolls out to his left. He's going to tuck it and run, and then not much doing after that. We'll make it 3rd and 11. Good job to close on that scramble by this Langston defense.
Yeah, very quick pursuit. Once they saw that Gordon West had committed himself to running it, they did not allow him to get to the sideline, fight for any extra yardage, and Gordon West, seeing that speed wisely, takes his step out of bounds. So they're going to put it right at 3rd and 12. So they converted a 3rd and 13 a moment ago. Taking their time, trying to get the right play call in here. They may have to use a timeout as we're already down to 10 seconds and no one seems to have huddled up quite yet.
And this is a big drive, honestly, getting to the end here of the first half. I would not be surprised to see them call a timeout and probably draw something up here. And they will indeed take a timeout. Give you some time to draw up a play here on 3rd and long.
Yeah, this is obviously down 10 points.
Down 10, Langston gets the ball at half.
No, SAGU gets the ball first to start the second half.
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. You're right. It was such a quick possession. The first possession, I think it was a 3 and out that SAGU does get. So we use maybe one of your favorite terms, the double dip here before halftime. Potentially go in and get a score and then come out of halftime and get another score. And all of a sudden now you're looking at a closer ball game. That doesn't feel like it is a 2-possession game. 10 points is not the end of the world, but Langston's defense has felt really good. Maybe a little bit of bend but don't break so far in this one, but their defense and their offense, they look pretty good on both sides of the ball.
It's been all big plays. It's been those 3 turnovers that they forced, as well as, you essentially have 4 drive-stealing plays, 3 turnovers and an onside kick that have, SAGU is only on, at the moment, their second drive in a way, in a weird sense when you talk about those turnovers.
Yep. Sustained drive.
So you have a chance here potentially for a double dip. If you have to punt this away here, you're giving Langston a chance to maybe take a 3-score lead before the half, and then it's nothing but chase the rest of the game. And so big play here.
Big 3rd down, back to pass is Gordon West. He lets it go incomplete, out of bounds. Well covered on that outside by the Langston defensive back. Number 5 on number 5. That was Isaiah Smith on Paul Odidi. And that brings up 4th down and 12, and the punting unit out to punt here for SAGU as Ryan Lewis. Well, they called his name once today for SAGU, but he's out here for a second punt of the afternoon.
And that punt didn't actually go into the record books. It was
you're right. It was
a great punt, and that was the one that was erased. We haven't talked about that one yet, about how big of a penalty that was, because Langston's defense came right back and cleaned it up and actually gave them a much better situation than they were going to be in out of the punt. So need to flip the field position here with just over 3 minutes remaining. Make Langston have to do a lot of work to get downfield.
And he gets it away, a spiraling punt. It's going to be a short one into the wind, and it's going to bounce and take a SAGU roll down just shy maybe of the 15-yard line. Yeah, mark it at the 16, and that's where Langston will take over.
Field position has definitely been favorable for Langston today, off of, again, all those turnovers. The only one drive they really had to go a long ways was the first drive that had the interception that was brought back on penalty. And so another Langston Lion down.
I believe it's Malcolm Johnson, whereas number 1 is down on that far sideline.
Defensive back in on special teams there, and there's a lot of full speed going. So we've had a lot of stops and starts with this one, with injuries. Obviously a number of turnovers on SAGU's side of the field. There's been no sustained momentum really for either team.
Langston, with just over 3 minutes to play here in the first half, will give possession back to SAGU coming out of halftime into the third quarter. So you got to think that Coach Morgan in Langston, the Lions, would love to put some points on the board here. Mm-hmm. And like you said, go up potentially 3 scores and make it a race after that.
SAGU's defense, we have not seen turnovers be a factor for them so far this year.
I'm seeing a million players on Langston's side, and they finally throw the flag. Going to back him up
Substitution.
5 yards.
Offense, 5 yards. Previous spot. Play first down.
I was about to say 5 wide, and then I counted it. It was 6 wide, and I wait, this doesn't feel right.
6 wide, 5 offensive linemen, a quarterback, and a setback. I'm doing some quick math in my head, and that's a few too many.
Make it 1st and 15 here for Langston from their own 11-yard line. Back to pass. Steps up in the pocket, but is met and brought down for a loss of 3 yards. So a good job by SAGU to keep that pocket contained from Torrance Bardell and allow him to go nowhere.
Isaiah Moore is going to get, comes down to the scorekeepers, whether that's a sack or a run for a loss, but he brings the quarterback down in the backfield. 2nd and very long. This is a big opportunity for the SAGU defense.
2nd and 18. Back to pass, Bardell. He breaks the pocket out to his left, cuts upfield and is met by the SAGU defenders, but he shakes him off, keeps his feet, keeps on moving, and he's got a big gain on 2nd and 18 that will make it 3rd and 5, and that is a huge, huge run by quarterback Torrance Bardell.
Yeah, for a moment there, it looked like he might be brought down inside the 5-yard line. Instead, fights through a number of tacklers, and forget about not only salvaging the field position, now has his team in a golden chance to convert here on 3rd and 4.
5 wide again here for Langston, 3rd and 4. So call it a 14-yard run there on 2nd down. Looks to get across the middle of the field off the hands of his intended receiver. Tim, he was open, and if that throw is just maybe a few inches lower, they've got a 1st down and are moving the chains.
And a little bit of luck. Dylan Coffin was probably a shade too far downfield with the situation. Had he been closer, I saw him clapping his hands together, furious with himself that he wasn't able to react quicker. So SAGU's defense does get the stop. However, that big run by Torrance Bardell means that they are punting from just inside their 10-yard line now instead of punting with their foot on the back line of the end zone. We'll see what Stanley Johnson can uncork here to try to put SAGU deep.
They've got the wind at their back. The lefty kicks it away, end over end punt, low line drive, and it's going to take a very good Langston bounce. This is a phenomenal punt by Langston. You love to see good special teams, and Stanley Johnson put SAGU at their own 3-yard line. What a punt by Stanley Johnson.
And much needed. Again, a moment ago.
What's the math on that, Tim? From 22 to the 3. Do the math.
Oh, from the 22 to the 3, we're looking at 28. That's 74 yards.
75-yard punt.
But again, it's not even fair. He kicked it from his own 5. So I mean, just call it what it is 100 yards.
It's essentially from 1-3 to the other 3 for Langston.
Some dangerous territory here for SAGU. Now you need to pick up a 1st down and run this clock out, and you don't need another mistake.
1st and 10 in their own end zone. He's going to let it go down the sideline. Goes up and get it. That's a catch. A 1st down grab. What a job by big Zach Fuller to go up and bring it in.
Pardon, that's
Justin Bodion. I'm sorry, I thought it was Zach Fuller who goes up against it, but Bodion getting the foot down and moving the chains.
That is such an impressive catch. At first, I thought there was no way he was going to be able to pull it down. So now you have the room to breathe. You still have 1:38. 1 timeout left for SAGU.
Back to pass. Gordon West doesn't like what he sees, rolls out, and he's brought up. The ball comes out. A flag comes in late, all the way from the secondary. I'm interested to see what this is. More often than not, you're looking at a defensive holding or something in that area, which would result in an automatic 1st down.
And it's going to be at the bottom of your screen there. It should be on number 4, Travis Martin.
On the defense, number 4.
There it is.
Automatic 1st down.
So wipe away the sack that would have made it 2nd and about 16, and instead it's an automatic 1st down for SAGU, and they move the ball 10 yards down the field.
Yeah, that would have been a huge sack, not just thrown SAGU far back, it brought back the situation of trying to get the ball back for Langston. Instead, it's a 10-yard holding penalty. SAGU with more breathing room, and it's still 1:33 to work with.
First and 10 from the 26. Back to pass. Gordon West is going to go deep again, looking for Bodion. Some hand fighting, and he goes up and brings it in. Justin Bodion, are you kidding me? Back-to-back targets, and he just goes up and looking like he's going for a rebound and just brings it in. That's incredible.
Not a name we've called it all the last 2 weeks, and back-to-back catches on the sideline, getting his jersey tugged.
Wow.
Hand fighting the whole way. Gets up to the 47-yard line. Clock running under 1:20. SAGU approaching midfield thanks to 2 excellent catches.
First and 10 from the 47. Gordon West back to pass, looking into the flat, and almost brought in maybe a little bit of miscommunication there between Gordon West and his receiver on the outside, Zach Fuller. Falls incomplete.
They seem to have struggled a little bit on these quick out routes where Gordon West is tossing the ball and where the receiver is standing. Feels like more often than not it has been a bit off target. So needing to level those in, because you don't want to be caught in bounds now. You're at 107. You'd like to be able to get out of bounds if you can, especially short of the sticks.
Second and 10 from the 47, just shy of midfield. 1:07 left to play here in the first half. SAGU trailing 17-7. Here is Gordon West. Play clock down to 3. And they will get it off. Gordon West steps up, and he flips it, and it's completed to Robert McGrew Jr. He's brought down quickly. No gain. Brings up 3rd and 10. We are under a minute to play here. SAGU with only 1 timeout left. We'll see what they decide to do here on 3rd and long.
Yeah, nowhere to go. Finally just find your safety valve, and nothing happening there. So SAGU, under a minute left. This is a situation where you probably want to try to snap the ball with enough time where if you do convert, you can still make something happen, but you don't want to leave too much time on the clock for Langston since you only have that 1 timeout. We'll see what they draw up here right at midfield.
Play clock now under 10, so SAGU will get this away. Empty backfield here. Back to pass. Gordon West steps up, lets it go. Down the sideline, falls incomplete. We'll bring up 4th down with 17 seconds left to play.
And no movement from SAGU yet. I assume the punting unit's going to come onto the field, but we have not seen them come onto the field yet. There's still 17 seconds left, so it's far too much time to possibly, just run around and throw a deep Hail Mary. So now here will come the punting unit.
17 seconds left to go here in the first half. The play clock is going to trickle down under 10 seconds here, and SAGU may have to take their last time out to avoid a delay of game.
The delay of game, and then they're going to have to do something here. They'll take their last time out. They were still missing a man.
Have a final charge time. SAGU. It's their 3rd final timeout of the first half.
So there you hear it, timeout for SAGU to avoid the delay of game. So with 17 seconds, they will punt it away here to Langston, and barring anything pretty crazy happening here in the final seconds, SAGU will go into halftime trailing 17-7.
And you had another good drive kind of moving along right here. For just, the drive can fall apart pretty quickly, and a couple of good defensive plays by Langston. Holds it in place at the 50. You would have loved to be able to go down and get some points. You'd have loved to have a chance to kick a field goal or something, get it back to a 1-score game, but at the moment you'll at least hold serve, and you get out from that situation you were a moment ago at your own 3-yard line, so Langston should not be able to do any further damage.
And they do get the punt away. It is a spiraling kick, a flag. It comes in. It's fielded inside the 10-yard line, but swallowed up quickly. Helmet comes off. With 5 seconds left to play in the first half. The flag is inside the 15-yard line,
which is usually going to be,
up to go against Langston. Not sure that matters too much in the grand scheme of things.
Yeah, it wouldn't be enough for a first. Now, what you could do is only 5 seconds left. You could accept it and throw a Hail Mary. At this point, you are in the Hail Mary range.
And it looks like they're just going to decline the penalty.
And again, I say that I'm always a little 50-50 on penalty enforcement rules, but I think you could theoretically.
12 men on the field happens before the ball is snapped.
Except
so you're
the penalty,
right. Yep, you're right.
But the clock still would have run, so then you would have been able to throw a Hail Mary pass and not worried about that. But again, with you struggle with fumbling as well. I'm not sure if you want to be trying that in this situation.
Yep.
At this point, I think you might be just take the lumps as they've come. And the truth is, you've had 3 turnovers, you've had an onside kick, and when all said and done, you're still only down 17-7. You have a very manageable lead, especially the way your offense has looked and how your defense has stepped up the last few drives. So I think you may just say, you know what, you can't say SAGU got lucky in the first half at all, except for on a couple of penalties that went against Langston that erased big plays. But SAGU had a penalty themselves that erased what would have been a play that had them inside scoring position. So a very interesting first half. A lot of big plays erased, and as it stands, we got a 17-7 ball game.
And it is tightly contested, as the majority of games between these two Lion ball clubs usually are. But that is where we stand. The Langston Lions leading your SAGU Lions 17-7. Don't go anywhere. Half number 2 coming your way right here on the SAGU Sports Network.
When you trust someone with your money, you're part of something greater than yourself. You're investing in a principle that it takes individuals to create a community, that we are stronger when we support each other, that at some point, everyone will need a helping hand, that a meaningful purpose can be found in a calling. At AGCU, we're banking with a purpose, so you can live for yours.
When I was looking for a college to attend, I didn't just want an education, I wanted an experience. When I found SAGU, I knew I'd found a university that thrives on strong faith and solid friendships. I feel at home in my classes. I can interact with my professors and classmates because instruction is personalized. With a diverse student body, I have plenty of chances to be myself while growing with amazing people at the same time. If you're looking for much more than a college education, SAGU is for you.
Raising Cane's, we're huge football fans, but we're also fans of your local fundraisers and fun runs, small victories, and big ideas. And yes, even the neighborhood animal shelter. I was getting to that. Plus over 30,000 other partners in the communities we serve. When you order our hand-battered chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade to cheer on your home team, you're also supporting your hometown. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
When you trust someone with your money, you're part of something greater than yourself. You're investing in a principle that it takes individuals to create a community, that we are stronger when we support each other, that at some point, everyone will need a helping hand, that a meaningful purpose can be found in a calling. At AGCU, we're banking with a purpose, so you can live for yours.
money. Have you applied to that school yet?
Not really into purple.
SAGU. Never say no to a lion.
When you trust someone with your money, you're part of something greater than yourself. You're investing in a principle that it takes individuals to create a community, that we are stronger when we support each other, that at some point, everyone will need a helping hand, that a meaningful purpose can be found in a calling. At AGCU, we're banking with a purpose, so you can live for yours.
I wanted to finish my degree, but I didn't know where to start. My faith and family are my priorities, and I didn't see a way I could go back to school. I barely have time for myself. How would I have time to go to class? I had all but given up until a friend told me about SAGU Online. They told me I could get credit for my life experience, save thousands of dollars, and graduate early. I took a leap of faith, and now I am set to finish my degree faster than I could have imagined. I take classes that fit my schedule, and I get to learn from amazing professors who have become my friends. The Bible-based teaching has helped me grow in my faith and advance in my career. The best part is, I'm saving money and I still have time for my family. I can't wait to see what happens next. Apply now to SAGU Online and see where a degree can take you.
Trust someone with your money. You're part of something greater than yourself. You're investing in a principle that it takes individuals to create a community, that we are stronger when we support each other, that at some point, everyone will need a helping hand, that a meaningful purpose can be found in a calling. At AGCU, we're banking with a purpose, so you can live for yours.
At Raising Cane's, we're huge football fans, but we're also fans of your local fundraisers and fun runs, small victories and big ideas. And yes, even the neighborhood animal shelter. I was getting to that. Plus over 30,000 other partners in the communities we serve. When you order our hand-battered chicken fingers, craveable cane sauce, and jugs of freshly made tea and lemonade to cheer on your home team, you're also supporting your hometown. Raising Cane's Chicken Fingers. One love.
You see injustice everywhere. You feel compelled to help others, to make a difference. But how? The answer is simple. By being exactly who you are. Now it is time to be equipped. Invoke change. Restore hope, peace, justice, and kindness. Turn your passion into compassion.
All right, here we go. It starts here, 8-10, take one.
Good, how are you?
Good.
Pretty good. Coach Neal, I did want to start with you.
Okay.
Why do you think student athletes come to SAGU?
Yeah, I'm in to showcase your talents in your sport, but I think SAGU uniquely gives you a family atmosphere, it gives you a community, it gives you a chance to grow your whole self, to your spiritual growth especially, to who you are as a man or who you are as a person. And I think that we offer a little bit deeper understanding of yourself whenever you leave, and I think that whenever they leave here, they really feel a part of something bigger than themselves.
Okay, so Dad, what have you enjoyed most about being in SAGU's basketball program?
Feels like a family, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else just because like how fun it is, and it's just been a really great experience.
I've never been in a place that has just loved on each other as much as the people do here at SAGU, and I think our guys feel it. I know I feel it as a coach.
The people, not just in basketball, but outside of basketball, are like so selfless and actually genuinely care about you.
It starts here.
I would tell students to expect to make their lifelong friends. It's not hard to find your community because SAGU is home. You can find people that either have the same passion as you or it can be completely different, but at the same time, you're able to network, but they're also going to help you along the way too.
There's such a community there, and throughout my 3 years at SAGU, I built so many connections, so many opportunities, and not only the students care about you, they pray for you, and they guide you to your God-given gift and your God-given talent.
Community starts here.
I wasn't sure about getting my master's degree online. I didn't know if I could juggle it with everything else I already had on my plate. Would I be able to find a local university that matched my values, offering the support and flexibility for my busy life? What about finances? I didn't think it was possible. Then I found SAGU. The flexibility in their programs, affordability, and biblical perspective helped me to see a way forward to fulfill my God-given calling. SAGU's support helped me create the balance I needed to succeed. Now I can pursue my degree and connect with a wide network of opportunities that will set me up for the future. Apply now and see what opportunities are waiting for you.
Tired of being passed over for that promotion? Well, did you know that getting your MBA can be a great way to supercharge your professional career? Those who graduate from a 2-year MBA program on average earn a starting salary of $90,000. Through SAGU's online MBA, you can earn your degree while still working at your job. And at half the cost of other 2-year MBAs, there's no need to worry about the price.
And you can now complete your MBA in 12, 18, or 24 months.
So what's holding you back? Apply today at sagu.edu.
When you trust someone with your money, you're part of something greater than yourself. You're investing in a principle that it takes individuals to create a community, that we are stronger when we support each other, that at some point, everyone will need a helping hand, that a meaningful purpose can be found in a calling. At AGCU, we're banking with a purpose, so you can live for yours.
When I was looking for a college to attend, I didn't just want an education, I wanted an experience. When I found SAGU, I knew I'd found a university that thrives on strong faith and solid friendships. I feel at home in my classes. I can interact with my professors and classmates because instruction is personalized. With a diverse student body, I have plenty of chances to be myself while growing with amazing people at the same time. If you're looking for much more than a college education, SAGU is for you.
At Raising Cane's, we're huge football fans.
Welcome back to the SAGU Sports Network as we get ready to see the second half between the Langston Lions from Oklahoma and your hometown SAGU Lions here in Waxahachie at Lumpkin Stadium. Langston leading 17-7 here against SAGU. And you look at a lot of these statistics in front of you, Tim, they are closer than you'd imagine in a 10-point ball game. Those interceptions, those turnovers for SAGU have not hurt them to the point of this being a blowout to this point.
Well, really, there's two stats that stand out because the total yardage, everything is so close. For SAGU, it's not on the screen, but obviously 3 turnovers and then an onside kick, which is a turnover in its own weird way. So you're at -3 in the turnover differential. For Langston, Langston, it's those 7 penalties of 43 yards. Now, that's not the worst you've ever seen at halftime. You want to keep it lower than that for sure. But 2 of those penalties erased touchdowns. One was a hold that erased a pick six. They had to settle for a field goal. The other was an illegal man downfield that erased a touchdown pass. They had to punt. So Langston has taken 11 points off the board due to penalties. SAGU has then handed Langston at least 10 points thanks to the turnovers haven't affected them other than the field position. SAGU's defense has held after most of those turnovers, but those turnovers have consistently hurt you, and that onside kick led to a touchdown. So while there was some real big plays in the first half, errors kind of defined both teams to where both teams can say, we're lucky to be in the position we are.
SAGU will receive the second half kickoff. And it's another one of those short kicks. It's a little pooch kick, but it's fielded. And SAGU will start with good field position here at about the 41-yard line.
Kind of going back to that well before. We know that Octavio Resendez this would be Stanley Johnson can kick it through the back of the end zone. We've seen him do it already. So kind of going back to that, that chance of getting the onside kick. But it will give SAGU really good starting field position, as coming into the game is Briley Green at quarterback, something we did not anticipate to see. Javonte Gordon-West threw a touchdown, did have 3 turnovers in the first half, but here comes Briley Green to start the second half.
Green, 4 wide, 2 either side in the pistol. Back to pass here on first down. He lets it go across the middle of the field. He's got his man. Enough for a first down into Langston territory. The pass completed to who else? Number 5, Paul O'Didi. Across the middle of the field.
Hits him on that good crossing route. Good time to throw for Briley Green in the pocket there. As again, he started the second half last week. That was a half in which SAGU only netted 1 first down. They were moving the ball well for the most part, but those turnovers have made SAGU switch over to their backup quarterback to start.
Green back to pass, has to dump it off to his running back, and he's going to get brought down for a big loss there on first down. Brings up second and call it 15.
Miscommunication there. Hunter Griffin was in the way. It's clear as that. As Rose gets the pass, but had nowhere to run with his own offensive lineman in his way, and it's a loss of 5 yards. On first down, back to the 43-yard line. Again, Briley Green, for those of you unfamiliar with SAGU's program, was the starting quarterback all of last year, but it's been back and forth so far this year with him and Gordon West.
Second and long run makes it 3rd and call it 12, maybe 12 and a half. I think they'll call it 3rd and 15 or 3rd and 13 here. That brings up regardless, it's 3rd and long here in Langston territory.
You might already be looking at 4-down territory in this situation where as the spot wasn't favorable. They lost about half a yard on the spot there, but you're looking at potentially 4-down territory, ball at the 41-yard line. You need some points.
Here's Green on 3rd down. He's back to pass. Deep drop. Steps up. Lets it go. Looking across the middle of the field. He's got his man. Enough for the first down. A big throw by Briley Green. Finds his man, Justin Campbell. And they are down inside the red zone at the 19.
Moves through his read progressions perfectly. Campbell finally gets a little bit of separation towards the very end, and a perfect strike converts the 3rd and long.
They will turn around and hand it off here on first down. 3 yards and a cloud of dust there for DeKevian Rose. And we've got a Langston Lion down and slow to get up. And not getting up at all, actually, currently. He's down at about the 20-yard line.
Possibly a cramp right there for John Gorey. But he does seem to be in a lot of pain, and he was the one that was trying to make the stretch out move to pull down Rose, and then was unable to stand back up afterwards. It's been a little bit of a war of attrition today. We've seen some very hard-hitting injuries. This one appears to be more of a non-contact, hopefully a cramp situation. You see him just trying to stretch out right there, and they are trying to stretch him out after the play. So hopefully just a cramp, get to the sideline, grab some Gatorade, and get back in the game. But we've definitely seen some players have to leave, with some assistance as this day wears on. Again, a nice balmy low 90-degree day here in Waxahachie, Texas.
Isn't it amazing the difference in last week and this week? It's still in the 90s, but it is a different kind of 90s.
Those last 8-9 degrees between like 90, 97, 98 are drastic. They are bigger numbers for some reason. It was borderline uninhabitable here last week.
Back to pass on 2nd and 8. He's looking toward the end zone, overthrows his man and falls incomplete. Was looking for Odidi. A little bit of contact, but I think it was deemed uncatchable.
Yeah, going for the fade route here, and looks like a bit of miscommunication where that ball can be placed. Odidi just in the totally wrong spot, and he's going to get hit pretty clearly, obviously. I think they're going to rule that it's Odidi trying to cut back into the play, and the ball was pretty well out of hand at that point. So 3rd and 8. They've already had one big 3rd down conversion on this drive.
3rd and 8. Here is Green. Swings it out to the flat, and he's got his man. Oh, rather, he drops it incomplete. So that brings up 4th and 8. And it looks like the field goal unit will come onto the field here for SAGU.
Miscue there. The running back was in the wrong position, so no delay on the play action. Had you completed that, then you would have had a decision to make looking around a 4th and 3. Instead, with the full 4th and 8, you will bring on your place kicker, Jonah Osborne, freshman. We still haven't seen a ton from him this year. This is a big 34-yard field goal here to try to get it back to one score.
From 34, here's Osborne. The kick is up, and it is good, and that'll make it 17-10. So SAGU, 34-yard field goal, makes it a one-score game, 17-10.
So a very effective opening drive. You come out, you get a couple of nice plays, big 3rd down conversion to keep the drive alive, and you get those critical points you need to bring this back to a one-score game. So again, as you kind of reset where you are in the ball game now, if you're SAGU and you're being told you're -3 in turnover differential, you've had an onside kick that surprised you and gave Langston next possession. And we talked about Langston's big penalties. SAGU, towards the end of the first half, had a big, beautiful catch that we're putting on all of our highlight reels, no matter who says, that was brought back by an illegal man downfield that ended up leading to a punt. So when you've had all that go wrong, and with 12-18 left in the 3rd quarter, you're just down a touchdown, I think you might take that bargain for how much has gone wrong. It's a whole fresh game now. You are very much in this.
2-minute, 42-second drive for SAGU ends up at 3 points. Briley Green, couple of big throws there, one on 3rd down, ends up getting SAGU back within one possession as they set to kick off here, and it is Ryan Lewis to do the kicking duties. And it's going to be fielded at the 8-9 yard line. Looking to stretch it across the field. He's got a lot of room to run here. Past the 30, makes a man miss down to the 40-yard line. So Langston will have good field position here as they take over on offense after putting up 17 in the first half. And they will set up shop at their own, call it 40-yard line.
Takes off running towards a spot on the field. It's not even finding a hole. It's running until the hole emerges. And when you got that much speed, it helps. Is he going to get brought down right at, they're going to mark it at the 40-yard line.
First and 10 here for Langston. They will hand it off on 1st down, trying to cut it up the middle, but a good job by SAGU's defense. Only giving up 2 will make it 2nd and 8, but there is a flag on the field.
Perhaps a legal motion here on Langston. Legal shift.
Legal formation. Offense. 5 players in the backfield. 5 yards. Replay. First down.
Yeah, whenever you see a man go in motion and it seems like the snap comes a hair too soon, that's when you're going to see that penalty. So Langston with their 8th infraction of the game. Definitely not the clean slate they're looking for, especially with, again, as we talked about, some of how big of an impact those penalties have had.
1st and 15 now for Langston as it gets him back to the 35-yard line. And they will hand it off again here on 1st down. Cuts it upfield, makes a man miss, and he gets brought down. Oh, hit, not brought down. Kept his feet. What a run there on 1st and 15. Picks up almost 12. Tyler Travis. Really good run there on 1st and long.
He is difficult to bring down. We have seen this several times today. Bouncing off defenders, never stops churning those legs. A very, very gritty running back.
They call it 2nd and 4, so picked up 11 on 1st and 15.
Erased the penalty and then some.
Absolutely. I think SAGU would have been happier with a 2nd and 8 after the initial stop. They will hand it off again here on 2nd and 4. Dancing around up the middle. He gets brought down after a gain of 2. That makes it 3rd and 2.
Yeah, between Travis and Bardell, you have got to play to the whistle or play until you see the guy's jersey all the way in the grass. These are two guys that are elusive and powerful. That's like a dangerous combination when you're trying to bring somebody down. They can fight through you and evade you at the same time. Third and short.
3rd and 2 here for Langston. It looks like they've a little bit of confusion on the substitutions, but it looks like it's all taken care of. Here's Torrance Bardell. 2 wide, 1 either side, so heavy package. They will hand it off to Travis, and he's got right at the line to gain. This is going to be awfully close. I have not seen an indication yet. That is really close, right at the 50-yard line. I think it's going to be 4th. Nope, they are motioning to move the chains.
Oh, they're moving the chains. Yeah, okay. Yeah, took them a second to get the indication, but it's going to be the nose of the football is pointing right at the 50, so just enough for that first down.
Tyler Travis picks up 2, needed 2, picked up 2 exactly. 1st and 10 here for Langston. Here's Bardell. Takes the handoff. He's back to pass. He's going to roll out to his right, looking deep down the field. Has his man at about the 37 and then out of bounds at the 35. So another first down here for Langston. Their offense picking up right where they left off, moving up and down the field.
And that's a great blitz pickup there from DeHeaven Demona, who otherwise, I don't know if Bardell was going to have the time he needed to get that pass out. Great blitz pickup, gives him that extra breath to throw. And they're down at the SAGU 35-yard line looking to get their 2-score lead back.
Heavy package here for Langston. Will take the snap and hand it off. Nothing doing that time. It gets brought down for a loss of 1. Will make it 2nd and 11.
When SAGU's defense is able to hold strong and wrap them up, really all the damage in the rushing attack has come from breaking tackles, fighting through as yet another Langston player goes down. This is going to be Jabari Hicks, number 79, offensive lineman. And it seems to be maybe the same thing we saw a moment ago, kind of a cramped situation after the 1-yard loss. Lot of injury timeouts in this one. 2 very physical teams and a tightly contested game. You know, when every play matters, you're selling out, and you're going to see a lot of this.
Has not gotten up the field yet. It is 2nd and 11 when we return from this injury timeout on the field. And you see just the stretching of that leg there. We've got another trivia question here, Tim. It's Langston and SAGU founded the Central States Football League in 2000. What other founding member still competes in the NAIA? I think you had mentioned them earlier.
I may have. They didn't fill me in on the trivia questions beforehand. I may have spoiled it, or I may have been wrong.
You may.
So, there's always a chance.
I'm trying to think back to I was doing sideline reporting when SAGU was a part of the CSFL.
I thought you were going to say you were doing sideline reporting back in 2000.
No, not in 2000. Not in 2000. I don't know if the founding member was still in the CSFL when I was here. I can't remember. I don't know. I have a couple of guesses.
A key term there is NAIA, because I know some of the founding members have moved on to different levels of college football competition.
Man, this is a in-depth trivia question. Good turnout here today for the SAGU home crowd. It was really hot last week, but even last week when the sun was beaten down, the crowd was out here and cheering on the SAGU faithful. He's getting help walking off the field. We got a Texas College guest from Peace with Zaria. I don't know if it's Texas College. I don't know if it is. In my brain, for some reason, it's saying Haskell, but I don't think Haskell is still in the NAIA.
I do not believe Haskell still competes with football. Neither does Bacone, and those were two of those founding CSFL members.
Man, this is a really good trivia question.
I'm pretty sure it's Texas College. That's what I'm pretty sure of, is that Texas College, Langston, and SAGU are the three remainders from
I'm gonna trust you on that
league.
one.
Oh, I am wrong. It is Peru State University. Did not see that one coming.
Yeah, and there's not in a million
Texas
years.
College was not yet in the CSFL in the founding back in 2000.
Yeah.
Again, that precedes both of us by a good number of years.
I was 10 when the CSFL was founded, so close. Good job on that backside. Keith Hargraves. First time we really get to call his name today. Breathing down that back of Torrance Bardell.
That's really the first time they've gotten any sort of hand on him. They put pressure, but he's stayed out of it. So, yeah, I can say I've been around SAGU football since the year 2007. So those first 7 years of the CSFL are quite a mystery to me. And I'd have to really dig deep to remember those games from 2007. I remember they went 1-9. That's all I remember.
3rd and 11 here for Langston from the 36-yard line. And maybe thinking 4-down territory here, but we'll see. Bardell, he's hit as he throws off the hands of the receiver and falls incomplete. Another big hit on the quarterback, that time by number 6, Dalton Spencer, delivering the blow. Oh, no, I'm sorry. Rather, it was Quavion Mitchell getting the pressure.
So they bring the pressure twice in a row on long down situation, and that was dangerous. With that ball popping up in the air, SAGU would really like to get one of those turnovers back. And it was almost caught still as it came down. So the SAGU defense, after a good starting field position from Langston on the kick return, will force the punt. Langston with a chance to pin SAGU deep.
Low snap, a flag comes out. There's a spiraling punt, goes out of bounds.
Now this could be offsides on SAGU. They may have jumped. Oh, actually, it looks like the referee may be consulting with Coach Ellis. And he's going to take the message back, so it actually will be on Langston, and it'll depend on what it is as to what SAGU wants to do. Wasn't the greatest punt, so you probably keep the punt.
Legal formation. 5 players in the backfield. On a re-kick, 5-yard penalty.
I was going to say, make them re-kick, because as it stands, you're on the 10-yard line, and I can't imagine there's too much of a difference between the 10 and the 15.
Well, I mean,
make them re-kick.
We already saw Octavio Resendez pin SAGU inside their own 5, punting from his own 7. So
that's true.
This is a bit of a gamble because it came off his foot a little bit awkwardly. No one's going to say the 10 is good field position, but he has a chance still with the ball at the 41 to maybe make him pay.
And he gets it off this time. Spiraling punt, fair catch called for and brought in. And then a little contact.
So it'll basically be the exact same as what it was.
Minus a yard. Let's call it the 9-yard line.
So, yeah, basically, I think what you're hoping for there is you give him that other kick, and maybe it goes to the touchback. So no real harm done except in that penalty, 1 yard here and there. I say 1 yard here and there doesn't really matter much until it's all that matters in the entire world.
Weren't you the one just talking about the 7-yard line game against Langston, and you remember exactly where? I think that was you.
A 90-yard drive and a 91-yard drive are kind of 6 one way, half a dozen the other.
Green bobbled the snap, and almost intercepted. Odidi had been driven out of bounds, so could not come back in to make the catch. But the bobbled snap, I think, kind of threw everything off there on first down.
And that was a risky throw because of how it came out. Looked like Travis Martin had a shot at that.
2nd and 10 from their own 9-yard line. Briley Green still in at quarterback here to start this second half. 4 wide, 2 either side in the pistol with Dakevian Rose. Here is Green. Under 10 on the play clock. They get the snap off. They will hand it off. Rose into the back of his blockers, keeps the feet moving, spins off a defender, and that'll make it 3rd and about 4. That's a good run there on 2nd and long.
Rose is having a very solid game today, and he's having to do a lot of second and third chance running here. Not having the greatest holes, but he does a good job there of staying alive in the backfield, shedding a few tacklers and fighting to get something to set up a very makeable 3rd down here. 3rd and 4 at SAGU 15. You got the wind at your back, but you don't want to be punting from this deep in your own field.
Here is Green on 3rd and 4. Takes a snap, fakes a handoff, facing pressure, lets it go deep down the field. Broken up, but a flag comes out. This should be pass interference. Was looking for Paul O'Didi, but had Travis Martin draped all over him. SAGU already moving forwards. This should be an automatic 1st down.
Yeah, you're going to see Martin here. He's going to get that arm in a hair too soon, and it's really where the ref is standing. He's going to see that very clearly. Even though the right arm does the job, he comes around.
Defense, number 4, 15 yards from the previous spot. Automatic 1st down.
So another big penalty that Langston incurs on themselves to give SAGU the 3rd down conversion. Again, the right arm does the right thing there. He times it perfectly. It's that left arm wrapping a little bit too much, and that's one that you're going to get away with a lot. I'll be honest, you'll get away with that one a lot. He just had the misfortune of having the ref at the perfect angle to see it and say, well, I saw it. Here comes the flag.
1st and 10 now from the 30-yard line. 1st down run. And then carried forward for about 5 yards. That's a good carry on 1st down by Rose.
Yeah, Rose is showing some real power in this game, having to fight through a lot of tackles and really make something out of nothing on a lot of these carries.
They will turn around, hand it off here on 2nd down. Good job of keeping his feet to start, but ultimately ends up in just a 1-yard gain. That'll bring up 3rd and 4 again here for SAGU.
Another 3rd and 4 situation. So you keep on finding yourselves in these very makeable situations, but you want to get away from 3rd downs. Obviously, you're converting at a much higher clip than last week. You're 4 for 9 today, just shy of 50%. You'd make it 50% if you get this one.
Here is Green in the pistol here. Sends a man in motion here on 3rd down. They will toss it to him on the end around, looking to make some blockers. He's up and past the 1st down marker. SAGU gets creative on 3rd down, and they pick up the 1st on the little end around. That time to Dylan Alford.
Giving it to your speed guy, Alford. He had the big kick return earlier, and don't have to do a ton there. You got to make sure the defense is held in place, give him the room to work with, and another big 3rd down conversion as SAGU keeps the ball on the field.
1st and 10. Here is Green. He will turn around, hand it off to Rose. Rose fighting through contact, cuts it upfield, jumps over a man, and picks up a lot of yards there after contact. He turned what looked like nothing into 5 yards, and it's been a lot of that today for Takevion Rose.
He is coming alive right now. I mean, the first half had a lot of 1 yard, -1. It had a couple of big runs as well, but he's starting to really make it click. A lot of these running backs, so much of football's gotten away from the running game, but a lot of these running backs really do need 18, 19, 20 carries before they're really clicking, and you really can't unlock them unless you're willing to commit.
Green will turn around and hand it off to Rose again. Good push up front, lowers the shoulder. A flag comes in, but as it stands right now, SAGU's got a 1st down, but we'll see what this flag is. It is in the area of holding.
Yeah, that's when the flag lands in that part of the field, that's what you can probably expect.
Holding. Offense, number 62. 10 yards from the previous spot. Replay 2nd down.
A.J. Shields gets called for the hold. That'll make it 2nd and 15.
Catch it on the replay here, and yeah, right there, guy trying to break loose, and that's one of those that when the running back is clearly in the frame, that's where the ref is looking, and if a guy tries to break loose and you even tug on that jersey for a second across the body, they're going to catch it. So 2nd and 15 after 2 good runs had them in Langston field position. They're back at their own 38 after the penalty.
Fakes a handoff here on 2nd down, tries to get it to the flat, but another flag comes in, this time from the back judge, one of the back judges.
He's signaling holding. We'll see on who.
There's another flag on the play.
Holding. Offense number 72. 10 yards. On the previous spot and replay. Second down.
So the holding penalties have not been an issue for SAGU at all today, but stack 2 right in a row, and it's now 2nd and a mile right after you get the big conversion. 2 very, very difficult holding penalties to draw as you're now inside your own 30. 2nd and 25, just looking to try to gain any of this back to make it 3rd and even theoretical, as I call it.
2nd and 25, as you said. Here's Green, 3 wide. Will turn around and hand it off here on 2nd down. Cutting upfield, trying to make up some of that yardage, and he will. Decent gain there on 2nd and 25, doing what he can to make it 3rd, and we'll call it 15. Is that theoretical enough for you, Tim? 3rd and 15?
3rd and 15 is in the realm of possibility. 3rd and 25, not so much. So you pick up some of what you need. Puts a lot back in play where you can, there's a lot of plays that pick up 15 yards. You can go underneath even. You can try to scramble for it. So you did the job you needed to on 2nd. See what they can uncork on 3rd.
Here's Green on 3rd and 15. Lets it go. Looking across the middle of the field. Off the hands of Odidi. And falls incomplete. Would have been short of the line to gain, but it would have been interesting right at midfield. Would have been 4th and about 3. Would have been interesting to see what they would have done there on 4th down, but as it stands, incomplete pass.
Yeah, it definitely would have been a tough call whether or not you're going for it there. But the penalties really come back to bite SAGU as they will have to punt it away. A drive that was looking very promising there. Dekevian Rose was really getting his momentum going forward. And those 2 10-yard penalties sink it.
And here is Lewis. Lewis gets run into. A flag does come out, so this will just be a conversation about whether or not it's roughing or running into the kicker. But as it stands, the punt is a good one down inside the 10-yard line. Ryan Lewis 2 times today has been facing pressure right down the barrel, getting hit and pinning Langston inside the 10 if the penalty would not stand. But we'll see what they call here.
Yeah, if it's
offense is coming back out on the field.
Wow.
57 on the return team. Previous spot, 15 yards. Automatic first down.
Another killer penalty for Langston. Now, there's 2 reasons you call roughing. It's if you hit the plant leg or if they rule that you just hit with way too much force. It was hard to tell, how much of a hard hit it was. We already had one running into the kicker today as they brought that pressure, but what a huge turn of events.
The 10th penalty on Langston today. Get a look at the that 3rd down play that was looking to get to Odidi.
Here comes, we'll might get a chance to catch it here in a second to try to break down what the ref was seeing in that situation, but 1st down inside Langston territory.
They take a deep shot here looking for Long. Long brings it in. Jamal Long, the tight end / wide receiver combo, bringing it in, showing soft hands and a good adjustment to bring that ball in, and now SAGU threatening right at the 20-yard line.
And Briley Green dropping this in like it's from a drone. Perfect spiral, laying it right into those hands in stride.
Beautiful.
Inside the red zone. SAGU threatening to potentially tie this game up.
1st and 10 now from the red zone at exactly the 20-yard line. Here is Green, 4 wide to either side. Takes the snap, back to pass, looking across the middle of the field. Ooh. Behind his intended receiver and almost intercepted
Jalen Walker. Jalen Walker had 2 hands on it, and that's one of those that I think he just wasn't expecting it coming through. If that had come a little slower, that's an easy pick. Bounces off his hands. So SAGU, even though they've had 3 turnovers, they've dodged a couple already in this half that Langston has just been unable to corral.
2nd and 10 from the 20. Here's Green. He will turn around, hand it off, and he's met immediately. Dropped for a loss of 4. So that brings up 3rd and 14 here. Dekevian Rose found no running room there.
Not a chance, winning right up the middle. And 2 different guys bringing him down. He runs straight into John Gorey. Good to see him back out there. He had left the field a little while ago, but he's back out there and making a big tackle to set SAGU up on another 3rd and long, 3rd and 14 at the 24-yard line. still on the cusp of field goal range for sure, but you really want to get a touchdown here. You want to stop settling for field goals and try to get this game tied up.
3rd and 14, Green back to pass, pumps, evades a man, lets it go, look into the end zone, a lot of fighting, and it is incomplete, underthrown, and fortunately for SAGU, it was not intercepted, and it looks like they will march the field goal team out onto the field to attempt a relatively long field goal here to try to cut it to 4.
It's Justin Campbell who has to change positions and come play defense here, trying to break the pass up over the middle. So it's going to be a 41-yarder here for Jonah Osborne. He definitely had the leg for 41 on the last kick, which was a 34-yarder. So can he boot this one through right dead center in the field where they love to be?
Here is Osborne, bobbled snap, but the kick is up, and it is good, and that makes it 17-13. A good kick there from Osborne from 41 yards.
So the Langston roughing the punter penalty leads to 3 SAGU points. So if you're keeping track of those ill-timed Langston penalties, they've not only taken 11 points off the board for Langston, they have now directly led to 3 points for SAGU, 11 penalties for 83 yards. That is the story right now for Langston and why they're only holding on to a 4-point lead. Yesterday was a big day for SAGU volleyball.
Man, look at that.
They got their conference championship rings after just a stellar year last year. They were undefeated in conference play, 33-game winning streak. They were the regular season and tournament champions. We saw them win that live here, covering a football game, going back and forth.
Yep.
And that's a slick little ring. You know what? I actually have had the pleasure of meeting one of the members of the Green Bay Packers who won the Super Bowl I, and his championship ring, it's not even like 1% as nice as this ring. It's just like a gold ring with like one little stone in it.
Talking carnival rings for the Packers.
That's nice. So, there's a phrase around here at SAGU, ring by spring. Well, they got their ring by fall. The girls got their ring by fall. And they get to wear that one around campus.
SAGU will kick it off here. It's a short kick. It'll be fielded at the 9-yard line. He cuts it to the outside, looking to set up some block, and he's got some room to work with. Down past the 40 and brought down just shy the 50-yard line at the 49. So Langston, again, succeeding in the kick return game today, has set themselves up with some really good field position.
We had mentioned pregame how that was a big strength for them on the punt unit. Now, SAGU has only punted a couple of times, and thanks to the excellent leg of Ryan Lewis, there's not really been much of a chance for returns, but they instead have turned it on the kick return game. Right at midfield, leading by 4 still. That last drive was another drive that they got inside SAGU field position, but were unable to come away with any points.
1st and 10, they will hand it off here to Travis. And he is going to fall forward. He looked like he was initially stopped for no gain, but fell forward for 2.
Rose and Travis are just having like a battle of who can get the most gritty yards after contact today. Obviously, Rose does it a little bit more standing up straight, bouncing off and breaking a tackle. Travis just does it because you can't find him. He just sneaks around you.
Checking into the game is Demaria Hamilton at running back number 29. Second and 8 incoming here for Langston. It will take the snap, fake the handoff, back to pass, looking across the middle of the field. He's got his man, he brings it in, breaks a couple tackles, and he's got the open field in front of him. Nice pitch and catch from the 48 all the way down for a touchdown. Langston, pending an extra point, looks to go back out in front, 24-13.
And that's the best throw we've seen from him this half, if not for the last few drives for sure. Sheds off multiple tacklers. An excellent throw, and it's going to be Levon Williams. We talked about him pregame, how he had come alive in the last 2 games. Well, there is the biggest catch of the day for Langston. Threads it in perfectly, and 3 SAGU defenders unable to bring Williams down, as Langston looking to go back up by 10 points.
Octavio
by 11.
Octavio Resendez on for the extra point. And it is up, and it is good. 24-13. Langston, a quick strike after the SAGU field goal.
You get that good field position, and you finally make it pay off with an excellent throw. And as I mentioned, the tight end just gets loose. Looking around the Sooner, Texas Wesleyan rolled today against Arkansas Baptist 62-0, and now just starting over in Oklahoma Panhandle State. Louisiana Christian looking to continue their rise. They're up 3-0 early on in that one. So no surprise with that other game. And looking around the NAIA today, that big St. Xavier-St. Francis matchup, wow, what a game. Went into overtime. St. Xavier pulls out the win. Mid-America Nazarene puts up a 20-point victory over Graceland. College of Idaho runs up pretty big over Rocky Mountain.
The Yotes.
And meanwhile, Bethel leads very early on against the Cumberlands.
They played twice today, Tim. Look at that.
Man, a doubleheader, 6 o'clock and 7 o'clock. That's that's tough enough on a baseball team, put in a doubleheader. Football, that's tough right there.
Langston will kick off here after the long touchdown strike to Williams.
So after all that work by SAGU, you put together 2 long drives. You unfortunately settle for field goals both times, and that means you're just one play away from having all your hard work at the half erased. You spent the entire of this third quarter getting back in, just being down by a few points, and now you're right back down by 11, needing a strike of your own to get right back in it.
SAGU will have a return attempt here. Colby Tanner cutting it upfield past the 30, down past the 35, and a flag comes in right at the end of the play. And more often than not, this will come back and be a holding penalty, but we'll get the official call here.
Yeah, it looks like we had a SAGU player on top of a Langston player, so that's probably pretty easy for the ref to see. It'll just depend on where they ruled the hold to happen as where SAGU is going to take over.
Doing the return at holding, number 38 of the return team. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. SAGU ball, first down.
So we'll see where the spot was, but there it's going to be inside the 20, right at the 19. So not terrible field position, but does erase a good portion of that very solid return from Colby Tanner.
1st and 10 from the 19, their own 19. Looking to put up points again here, ideally a touchdown for SAGU. If you're a SAGU fan, 5 wide here for Briley Green. Quick hitter to the outside has Tanner. Tanner cuts it upfield. Quick pitch and catch there for, I call it 5, maybe 6 yards. Call it 5. Make it 2nd and 5 here.
We're at the 25-yard line, and yeah, just a quick shot over there. Let your little receiver try to fight for a few extra yards. Again, clock is by no means a factor in this one yet. Still plenty of time to erase this 11-point deficit, but it has to happen through touchdowns.
They mark it 2nd and 4. Here's Green back to pass 5 wide again. Dumps it out quickly, trying to make someone miss in the open field, and that is going to go down for a loss of 2. Make it 3rd and 6. The quick little dump off that time to his running back out of the backfield was Draylon Taylor.
Langston is so tough to beat corner to corner. They are a quick team.
3rd and 6 incoming, and if you're SAGU, you want to avoid a 3-and-out at all possible here, if at all possible. 3rd and 6. Here's Green. Back to pass. He's looking to go down the field and is brought in by Odidi. He was pushed out of bounds. He is still on his feet. I don't see a flag out yet. The official's hat came off.
His hat came off, but no flag. So
no flag.
I think he's going to rule that Odidi was forced out of bounds off his own volition.
The official had his hand on his flag. I was under the impression that it didn't matter.
The official ruled that the player was pushed out of bounds, which made it illegal to
there we go.
Catch a forward pass.
So as it stands, a first down on a pitching catch from Briley Green to Paul Odidi. I thought that play was dead in the water because that was Green's first read, and he went with it. Unfortunately, it was ruled that he was forced out of bounds.
Yeah, no, and again, that's the way the rule has to be. Otherwise, you would just bump the guy out of bounds every chance you get. And he did establish himself before the pass was actually in. So a huge third down conversion on the final play of the third quarter puts SAGU across midfield. Don't go anywhere. We've got a very competitive fourth quarter coming your way. Looking at some stats here, Torrance Bardell, 211 yards, but 3 touchdowns. Even though he's under 50% completion rating, he's made it count when it matters. Tyler Travis, man, it feels like there's more than 47 yards out there the way he's been fighting. And then Kevin Allen Jr., the big play man, 97 yards receiving and a touchdown.
Also had one passing that was taken off the board. Can't forget that. Kevin Allen has been very involved today.
Like we said, there is a whole host of highlights that get taken off the board due to penalties. Meanwhile, for SAGU, Jamonte Gordon-West is still your leading passer for SAGU with 114 yards, a touchdown and a pick, but it's been Briley Green in the second half here. DeKevion Rose, again, 58 yards. Feels like more than that. Feels like he's been a lot more productive than that. Paul Odidi, who just had the huge third down conversion, 83 yards receiving, and that beautiful fade route touchdown. Penalties are the story for Langston, 11 for 83. Meanwhile, SAGU just shy of 50% conversion on third down, which is, when you consider last week, I believe they were 0 for their first 11 and finally made a conversion late in the fourth quarter. That's a huge turnaround going into this week.
The teams have switched sides as we get ready to begin quarter number 4. SAGU facing a 1st and 10 after they just moved the chains on the completion to Paul Odidi. 4 wide here for Briley Green in the pistol. He will take the snap here on first down and hand it off. DeKevion Rose at a full head of steam picks up about 1. Make it 2nd and 9. Oh, correction, it is not DeKevion Rose. It is still in at running back is Draylon Taylor.
And taking the brunt of that full head of steam is, I believe, number 52 for Langston. And impressive to be able to hold him in check for just 1 yard.
2nd and 9, Green back to pass. Faces pressure, has his man across the middle. He's got enough for the first down. He finds his man number 11, Zach Fuller, the tight end. Moves the chains.
SAGU finally finding some success over the middle with Briley Green here in the second half. Almost all their offenses had to go to the sideline for the most part. They are finding some room to work there. Now inside the 30, as we mentioned, really needing a touchdown on this drive.
Here is Green on first down. The chains just moving. Turns around, hands it off. Taylor lowers his shoulder, fighting through contact, picks up, call it 6, make it 2nd and 4.
And that is the strategy. That's what the one really big change we've seen from SAGU's approach this week is getting the ball to the running back with a full head of steam. Last week was a lot more traditional, and I think they found with the way they're having to work their offensive line right now, they need to have him hitting the line of scrimmage already going 40 miles an hour.
They call it 2nd and 5. Here is Green on 2nd down. Back to pass. Looking for his man on the wheel route and bobbled and almost brought in, but falls incomplete to Jamal Long. Had him in one-on-one coverage and just unfortunately could not bring it in.
He just about brought that in, and that would have been a fantastic pitch and catch. Well, here we go again, 3rd and 5. The number of 3rd and 4 through 6 we've had in this half so far have been staggering, and SAGU, for the most part, has found a way to convert them. This would be a long field goal here, one you might opt to take because it would cut it back to an 8-point game, but as you said, this is a drive to get a touchdown.
Isaiah Smith in coverage on the previous play. They hand it off here on 3rd and 5, going nowhere. Langston stops that for no gain, which brings up 4th and 5.
And the kicking team
they were ready. They were ready.
And when I see what that call is, that they were planning on going for it on 4th down the whole way, and now they will. So there was some debate, at least for the moment. This is going to be another 41-yarder. Yep. That's where his last one came from. Now, that one had the wind at his back, and it needed the last few yards to get across. It wasn't a great snap. So this kick would make it an 8-point game, back to essentially a 1-score game, but it won't be an easy one.
From 41. Good snap, good hold. The kick is up, and it is no good. He misses from 41. So the score will remain 24-13, and Langston will take over here after allowing no points on that drive where SAGU converted 2 or 3 third downs.
Yeah, some really big conversions there. And it had just enough leg, but it was slightly off to the left. And that one stings after another SAGU's offense has moved the ball consistently today. But to get down there, being unable to convert that third down, and then walk away with no points, still trailing by 11, that is a tough one to swallow.
From their own 24, they will hand it off here on first down. He cuts it upfield, brought down after a gain of 3.
And I think we can probably assume that this is Langston's game plan from here on out. They've been very successful picking up these dirty 3- and 4-yard runs. Might just stick with that, start thinking about the clock already, and count on your defense to not let SAGU get away with quick scores.
DeHeaven Domina on the carry. 2nd and 7 here now for Langston. They will hand it off to Domina again. He slips and falls for a loss of 1 and make it 3rd and 8.
We've seen a couple of slips in this game. Again, I said this is not, you talk about fields that maybe are notorious, around different sports. This is not one that is a problem. So just unable to find their footing. Bardell, again, not the most perfect day accuracy-wise, but any day that you're at 211 yards, 3 touchdowns, and have a clean slate on the picks front, you're doing your job as a quarterback. He's also made some stuff happen with his legs. And some of the things have been incomplete passes that have been avoiding big-time sacks.
3rd and 8, empty backfield. Big hit across the middle of the field. My goodness, the vicious contact. That time delivered by Xavier Garcia. It brings up 4th down.
Just turn on the hit stick, textbook, lower the shoulder, clobber him.
But a great catch by Brian Hanspar to hold on to it.
To hold on to it was pretty impressive. Another SAGU player down in the backfield and something in that left knee.
Anytime you see Trainer Stewart laughing, you know everything's going to be okay.
That's good. Yes. Yeah.
Can't quite see a number on who it is.
As they had another player down in this one. Again, it has been a war of attrition today. A lot of new faces in here in the fourth quarter. Yep. We've been, me and you both know, going down that list. So, all right, okay. Oh, goodness. Here's our next trivia question. What American Idol contestant, I dismiss myself from even bothering guessing, daytime talk show host and EGOT winner attended Langston? That's Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
Is that what that means, EGOT?
Yeah, Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, Tony.
That means they won all 4?
They won all 4.
Okay, American
daytime
Idol
talk show host.
So they say contestant.
Say contestant, not
winner.
Not
winner. So
daytime talk show host. I mean, again, the first 2 completely rule me out. The third one, theoretically, I could have any sort of guess at, but I mean, I only have the vaguest idea of who won the Oscars.
It doesn't say winner, so. I don't know. If it's not a winner, I'm not sure. And even then, it's a stretch.
Winner, they won an Emmy, Grammy, Oscar, and Tony.
I'm sorry, American Idol.
I knew what you meant, but yeah, let's say I'm pretty sure winning an EGOT's a little bit higher than being winner of season 87 of American Idol or whatever.
Oh man, let's see your answers, because Tim and I are
out of our depth.
We can normally get 1 or 2 guesses off for most trivia questions, but
yes.
I am a little in over my head. I want to say, was she on American Idol? I think she was on American Idol.
Kelly Clarkson had a daytime talk show.
I think my guess is going to be Jennifer Hudson.
I don't know how on earth.
I think Jennifer Hudson is my guess. I think she was on American Idol. I could be wrong.
Well, that's one of the guesses in chat, so you might be on the right path.
Know what?
I don't think Kelly Clarkson's won an Oscar. She's not exactly, the greatest actress. So
First down, a 2-yard run, a 1-yard run, make it 2nd and 9. I'm seeing, now that I'm looking, I'm seeing a lot of Jennifer Hudson guesses, so I feel good about that.
Well, that is very good that you got to that on your own. Again, my knowledge of American Idol pretty much ends and begins with Kelly Clarkson, and that information was forced upon me. I did not learn that willingly.
Not a Phillips guy, are you? From American Idol. I don't know many things past, I want to say 2008 when it comes to American Idol. That's the extent of my knowledge. Here's Green letting go here on 2nd down. Incomplete. A good break on the ball that time by, looks like, Jalen Kincaid.
Another big 3rd down here for SAGU, and you got to look at that clock and realize you are running short on chances. You got to get 2 scores to at least tie this game. You don't have a lot more time to keep walking away without touchdowns. Your defense has done their job for the most part in this game, and you still got 10 minutes left, but I would not risk punting this ball back down to Langston, still down 11.
3rd and 9. Here is Green. Back to pass. Lets it go down the sideline. Brings it in.
Oh,
tough catch. Looking into the sun. Colby Tanner picks up a 1st down and then some.
What a perfect throw. Okay. I'm not even sure we're allowed to say his name on air, but Rob Price just texted me Jennifer Hudson. So,
well, here's the thing, though. I would not be surprised if Rob Price just randomly would text you Jennifer Hudson out of nowhere, knowing him.
Rob Price, digital media professor here at SAGU. So apparently he knows, or he Googled it. You can't put it. I played racquetball with him. I know he cheats. So.
1st and 10 here for SAGU from the 31-yard line.
I'd only say that because I know he's listening.
Fakes the handoff back to pass, and it's intercepted. Trailing back into the end zone. It'll be a touchback, and that is unfortunate for SAGU.
They had it all clicking. And this one's going to sail a bit too far from Bradley Green.
Hang on, there's a discussion going on right now. That might be a safety.
I think that's a safety. That's 2 or 3
There's a discussion
steps
happening. They have not come out onto the field yet, and there's not been an official ruling on if it's a touchback or where, because they have marker down at the 2-yard line. His momentum did carry him into the end zone, and Langston's offense is coming out to the 20-yard line. I never saw an official ruling on what it was.
They initially
take a look here, because
they waved their hands for the touchback, but he's going to collect the ball
at the 5.
1, 2, and yeah, that is close.
That is it. See, now that's interesting.
That is stretching to the limit. The definition of momentum.
Oh, look out! Bardell keeps it on the option, and he's got open field. He is gone. Look at him run down to the 10, 5, touchdown. Torrance Bardell makes the right read and goes 80 yards for the score.
And just like that, Langston may have built the lead that won't be able to overcome the interception, and 1 play later. We have not seen a design QB run like that all day. Langston saved it for the perfect moment, and Bardell, his 4th total touchdown of the game, 3 passing, and now a big 80-yard rushing touchdown, about to give Langston a 31-13 lead. And that's how quick it can all change as it's up and good. SAGU appeared to be barely on the verge, just on the verge of breaking through and getting back to a 1-score game. And left hook, right hook. You're down on the mat.
Here we're gonna find out the answer here to our trivia question. I'm still sticking with Jennifer Hudson. I feel confident in it now that we have the word of Rob Price, and there it is. Jennifer Hudson was the answer. I did not know that she went to Langston. I did not know the Langston. What SAGU alumnus and former SAGU Sports Network sideline reporter produces the Jennifer Hudson Show?
Oh, okay. Now I'm seeing connections as well. Now I'm seeing why this probably even came up in meetings. Okay, well. I can't expect anybody watching to know that off the top of the. Hey, if you're a diehard SAGU Sports Network fan, you better be able to name all the sideline reporters, in order. Okay, Bianca Roybal, back in the day. I think you took her job, didn't you?
I actually no. It was I was 2 after her, I believe. I think I was there was someone who sandwiched Bianca and myself.
Yeah, but Bianca Roba Alarcon at the time that she was here, big part of the SAGU media program. Her and her husband, BJ Robal, out there doing big time work. And yeah, she started right here, little old SAGU sidelines. So hey, that's a pretty significant connection between SAGU and Langston. Who would have ever seen that talent combo happening? From SAGU Sports Network and Langston attendees meeting up in Hollywood.
This kick will go into the end zone for a touchback, and SAGU will take over at the 25-yard line. Tim, all of a sudden, this game turned into a 31-13 ball game.
It happened very, very quick. You go from 17-13. Langston finally puts it together off that big kick return. Then SAGU, you missed the field goal. You've had 4 good drives this half, but you have settled for field goals twice. You missed the 41-yard field goal, and then right as you're driving, you throw your fourth, not your fourth pick. You have your 4th turnover of the game, your 2nd pick, and Langston immediately makes you pay for it. And now you're in pure desperation mode, needing a lot of things to happen in quick succession to have a shot at this one.
31-13 with 9 minutes and 11 seconds left to play, and that one's off the hands of the intended receiver and falls incomplete. Almost another. It looked like it was batted around for an hour. It almost could have been intercepted again.
Yeah, it went a lot of different places. Off 2 helmets, basically, before it hit the ground. 1 SAGU helmet, 1 Langston helmet. So I said, if you want any shot at getting back into this one, you're going to have to make some things happen very quickly.
2nd and 10 on the way here for SAGU. Briley Green back to pass. Fades to his left and completes it to his man out of the backfield. That is DeKevion Rose, and he is right around that marker, or that line to gain. You're going to mark him 2 yards short, make it 3rd and 2.
See where he actually got up to. I thought he got further than that. Debatable whether it was 8 or 9, but it was shy of the first down marker. So 3rd and short, 33-yard line. Needing to get to the 35, under 9 minutes to play. Trailing 31-13.
3rd and 2 on the way here for SAGU. Green turns around, hands it off, and he is brought down for a loss of 1. That makes it 4th and 3. And SAGU's got a decision to make here.
Yeah,
I think they have to go for it at this point.
I mean, it really is a question. I mean, they're going to bring the punting unit on, but I mean that's just. Well, now they're going to freeze up. They're going to bring it back off. Yeah, because at this point, if you don't succeed here, the scoreboard may look worse.
Yes.
But if you punt here, it's essentially admitting defeat. If you want any chance of pulling off what would be a miracle comeback, it has to start right here by making this conversion.
Green back to pass on 4th, looking in the middle of the field, has his man, a big hit laid down, but Jamal Long stays on his feet, and he is fired up. Move the chains, 1st down for SAGU.
Jamal Long is making it work out of the slot, catching these passes over the middle. He's going to get hit hard. First of all, has to go up and get that pass in the first place. That's impressive. Gets hard and fights forward. So SAGU keeps their slim hopes alive for the moment up to the 43-yard line.
1st and 10, here's Green, back to pass. Langston brings 3, he dumps it out to his man in the backfield. That is DeKevion Rose. Rose spins and tries to fall forward, but ultimately picks up 2, make it 2nd and 8.
Went through his progressions, and that was all he had. Langston with great coverage downfield. Has to finally get over to Rose, and nothing doing because Langston is so quick to respond. When you go corner to corner, pretty much your only chance is getting downfield. Rose 58 yards rushing on the day. He's had a couple of catches on this drive as well.
Back to pass, Green looking across the middle, and it's batted down and intercepted. Now he's running with it down past the 30. Green makes a touchdown saving tackle. That is a really good play by John Gorey. You mentioned earlier he came off the field, was injured, but look at him go up and just swat it into his own stomach, and he gets the interception. And Tim, I'll tell you what, there are a few things I love in football more than big guy interceptions. And look at him rumbling in the open field.
Big guy interceptions and big guy returns because he takes it all the way down inside the red zone. John Gorey, as you mentioned, he left the field field with a big injury, but he comes back with style, stopping that pass. I mean, that is so tough to be able to pick a pass off at the line of scrimmage, coming full strength, coming full speed. And it's the 5th SAGU turnover of the game, and pretty much will start putting the button on this one as the pass is thrown, and he is going to be down
right at the 1 yard line. So they elect to go to the air, up big here with 6.5 left, and they are moving. They're getting to the ball here, and they will sneak it. And a flag comes out, and you got to think there was so many people moving that it's got to be illegal formation.
Yeah, I'm not sure what the hurry up was in that situation. If they were trying to catch SAGU off guard.
Offense, number 50, 5 yards, replay, first down.
Yeah, you could have thrown about 3 different flags there. I don't think anybody was set. I don't think there was a illegal formation, and yeah, people were jumping all over the place. So that'll move it back to the 6-yard line. Possibly, I think the hurry up might have been trying to get Torrance Bardell his 5th touchdown of the game. It might have been a hurry up to get him his QB sneak up the middle.
Never hurts to have 5. A cool nickel touchdowns. Here we go. Now it is 1st and 6 from the 6, or 1st and goal from the 6 rather. Here is Bardell, 2 out to his left in the pistol here. He will turn around, hand it off, up the middle, lowers his shoulder. He is met, and he keeps the feet moving. Is he in? He is in for a touchdown. Langston pouring it on here, and we talk about how hard it is to tackle Tyler Travis, and there's the prime example. He just gets lower than everybody and bowls his way into the end zone, and Langston, pending an extra point, will go up 38-7 on the 6-yard touchdown run from Travis.
That is his effectiveness. He pops you real hard, and then as you're trying to recover, he's dropped down beneath you, and he's using his speed to be able to churn those extra yards. So Langston now putting it clearly away. Back-to-back interceptions. It's up and good. And another touchdown off of a SAGU turnover has stretched this one to a 25-point deficit for SAGU, and that's the story right there. -5 turnover ratio for SAGU. You're not going to win games like that.
2 fumbles, 3 interceptions for SAGU. Since 2004, how many times has Langston won their conference championship, CSFL and the SAC? Man.
7, 8.
So we're talking 19 years.
I'm going to say probably 11 or 12.
They dominated the CSFL.
Because in the CSFL days, there were not many years that anybody but Langston was walking away with it. So I'm going to say somewhere in the neighborhood of 11 or 12, because I'm pretty sure between 2004 and around 2015, it was almost all Langston in there. So I'm going to put it at an even dozen. And then let it sit there, and we'll see what the chat has to say.
I'm going to go 10. I'm just going to say maybe one year there was a year in the CSFL where somebody else took home the conference championship. I'm going to go 10.
There were a couple of years that somebody else took it home, but it was not the regular. Now, remember in 2004, there were still a couple of powerhouses that hadn't moved on from there. So we got some guesses coming in 4. Oh, man, that's a lot. Now I'm questioning my guess. I hope I'm not off by that much.
Well, you got to think, when was the last time we won the Sooner Athletic Conference?
Well, we know that one. That was the question earlier today. So if we can remember back to the first half.
Right. 2018 was the last time. SAGU returns kickoff down to the 17-yard line, and that's where they'll take over. And now it's starting to get a little chippy here, and we see an official go down. No flags have come out yet. The head official was the one who went down. Maybe he got his feet caught up. I don't see a flag out, so fortunately.
If anybody had actually touched the official, we'd be seeing flags come left and right. It's possible that just in the jostling and shuffle, he had lost his balance himself. Because, I can't imagine that had an official actually been shoved or contacted, we'd be having a polite conversation at the moment from the ref.
SAGU player slow to get up. That is Dylan Alford on the return. Walking off on his own power, so it looks like everything should be okay with Dylan Alford. But SAGU will take over at their own 17-yard line. Briley Green remains in at quarterback. down 38-13, under 6 minutes left to play. Tim, at this point, you just kind of have to see what you got here and see what you can get as far as momentum goes into next week's road game and see what you have.
Yeah. At this point, it's just about trying to do some things right. You've done a lot right today. I mean, when you compare and contrast the offensive output from last week to this week, it's night and day. It's ironic that unless SAGU pours on a touchdown here at the very end, they're only going to end up with 3 more points than they did last week, because you and I both know the offense we saw today was 100% better than what happened last week. It all begins and ends with the fact that you turn the ball over 5 times. Again, this is a game, we said, 52-10 last week. It's like, what was the final score of that game? Well, that was the final score. And that was the final score that made sense. This has not been a 38-13 type game. It's been Langston by around 10 most of the game. And then you have these 2 late turnovers that put it all the way for sure. So SAGU's offense has done a lot right. It's just been far too sloppy against a team that's going to...
Oh, what a catch, Jamal Long. Can he turn on the afterburners down to the 30, and he's brought down at the 20-yard line. Just went up and picked that out of the air. And he's down at the 15, rather. Wow, long pitch and catch from Green to Long.
Like I said, just like that. Well thrown pass. Wow. Long going over the top and fighting his way back. He's got guys trailing him from the 50 trying to tackle him, and gets all the way down inside the 20. They're going to mark him at the 15. That's about 3 yards generous, but that's what you get when you outrun the official by that much. He's chasing you and isn't quite sure when you went down. Again, look at this right here. SAGU, 24 first downs today to just 15 for Langston. SAGU has consistently moved the ball today. They have a big... Now, Langston has had some, an 80-yard touchdown run just counts as 1 first down, not the theoretically 7 you could have picked up. So that, first downs aren't the greatest metric for offensive success, but this shows that SAGU has been consistently moving the ball. Again, you look at the game, they've had an interception and a fumble that were both inside Langston territory. They had a fumble that was in Langston territory. They've had a missed field goal and 2 interceptions this half. So
hey, we might have an answer to our trivia question here.
All right, here we go. How far off was I?
I said 10. You said 12. We got Dre Baby saying 11.
They just took our guess and averaged it.
Nate Smith said 4. I don't know how confident I am in that one. We'll see here.
It is
5.
Really?
They were closer than all of us.
Wow.
I thought they had dominated the CSFL.
I mean, I'm going to have to go back and double check my memory of those seasons, because I remember Langston running it up on everybody back in the day. But I guess I think in a lot of situations, what you're looking at, back in the day, as SAGU fans and followers in the 2004 through 2010, they really weren't looking at conference championship races, so we might have just lost track of who was there. So only 5. I thought it was going to be way more than that.
1st and 10 after the long completion. Fakes a handoff, gets it out to the flat, has his man, and then out of bounds. Make it 2nd and 3.
Again, as we said with that last throw, SAGU's offense has been exponentially better than they were last week. If you take away 2 of those turnovers today, and right now SAGU is fighting to make this a 1-score game. You take away 3, they're fighting to take the lead right now. I mean, a game with a -5 turnover differential is going to be a 25-point game, no matter how well you do everything else.
2nd and 3. Here's Green. Back to pass, looking across the middle of the field. Jamal Long up and into the end zone. A good job of going up over the defender and fighting his way into the end zone. And as it stands, that should make it a 38-20 game. I don't think they're going to go for 2.
It wouldn't make any sense to in this situation. But a well-deserved touchdown catch for Jamal Long, as he has had some stellar catches today.
Well, I'm confused now, because it looks like they will go for 2.
I mean, that would make it a 17-point game versus a 18-point game. It's all the theory of when you do go for 2. Although Bradley Green didn't know they were going for 2, so yeah, this won't be happening.
They're definitely going to take a timeout here. Oh no, they're going to. A delay of game. I thought maybe they would get a timeout off and figure something out here.
SAGU, number 10. 5 5 yards. We played it extra point.
So a lot of miscommunication. That's something that's got to get cleaned up for SAGU. We've seen that through the last 2 weeks happen far too many times. Miscommunication on punting units, miscommunication on when they're kicking a field goal or not. They're going to keep the offense on the field here and go for 2, even from the 8-yard line.
Here is Green. He's back to pass, rolls out to his right, throws it back across his body, up for grabs, and it is brought in. What a job to go up and get that one, and then the kip up afterwards. Paul O'Deedy, what a grab, makes it 38-21.
I mean, that is a stellar catch, having to go up high. I mean, he needed all 6'5" there. Then make sure and get that. He got a foot inbounds and the knee, so that would have been a catch in the NFL.
And look at the kip up, making Shawn Michaels proud. Down in San Antonio, Texas.
A little bit of style, and so with 4:11 left, SAGU gets one back, goes for 2. Live game look in here, and late in the first half, Louisiana Christian. They've got that win streak going, but we said it doesn't matter. When you go and play the Aggies up in the Panhandle,
that is a tough place to stay.
Tough. It's just tough up there.
You look at that. You look at Oklahoma, and you see that Panhandle, and you think to yourself, "What even happens here?" OPSU plays football there, and it is a tough environment to play in.
There's a lot of cities around there called Broken Wagon Wheel, because that's why people stopped. I mean, it is a tough place to play. It is a tough place to get to.
We got an onside kick here.
Yeah, definitely going to go for the onside.
A ground ball. Does it get to 10? It does not, and it's touched, goes out of bounds regardless. It will remain Langston ball.
Yeah, they'll get it to 44 with 4:11 left, so that was kind of the last gasp hope for SAGU there. Langston will get the ball up 17. An offense that really has come alive here in the second half as well. They put up 17 in the first half, but they had a lot more opportunities to do more, and they didn't capitalize. This half, they've only had the ball 5 times. They've scored 3 touchdowns. And, of course, the one huge one from Torrance Bardell that was kind of the nail in the coffin to get this going. Now a chance to just salt it all away and head back home with a victory.
Bardell will hand it off, running hard, carrying a couple defenders on his back. That time it is Lawson, or rather it is DeHeaven Domena for, I'll call it 7 yards there on first down.
So now they are exactly where they want to be, running the clock out to go on the road and get a big win. That'll move them back to 2-2 on the season and give them a 2-1 record in the Sooner Athletic Conference. Again, they had a loss already this year to Louisiana Christian, who has just become kind of the thorn in their side with how many times Louisiana Christian has disrupted Langston's season.
Domena gets brought down after 1. That makes it 3rd and 3 rather.
There's still a chance for SAGU to get the ball back.
Coach Ellis is going to call a timeout here after the second down play.
I mean, again, you're not in a situation that you're feeling like you've got a great chance of getting back in this one, but this is also a very young team. It's always a chance to situationally scrimmage. This is the perfect situational scrimmage. You're down, pretend you're down 13 instead of 17 and say we're trying to get the ball back to get a quick score. And as long as there's time on the clock, as long as you got chances to try on sides, you got to give it a chance.
Third and 3 incoming here for Langston. Picking up a first down here could effectively, as it stands, and potentially end this ball game.
Yeah, SAGU with just one timeout, they could all but kneel down. Maybe just run a couple more plays. Probably have to pick up at least one more first down to officially run it out.
And he will keep it. Bardell fighting off tacklers, but he's ultimately going to get brought down for a loss of 1. That makes it 4th down and 4, and Coach Ellis will call a timeout with 3:07 left on the clock.
SAGU. It's a second timeout.
So they'll have one 1 timeout remaining, 3:07 on the clock. We'll see what Langston does here. Looks like they are, even though they've gone for it in this situation a lot, I'd imagine your only thought process here is the mathematics say that as long as you punt this out of bounds anywhere around the 10-yard line, there's not much chance for SAGU to run down the field this many times. If you were to go for it here and not succeed, then SAGU would have a shorter field, and all of a sudden there's a tiny inkling, but we'll see.
4th and 4 incoming, a big huddle on the Langston sideline, so we're not sure what package they're going to come out in here, whether it's going to be punt or keep the offense on the field. And it looks like the offense is coming back out onto the field to go for it here on 4th and 4.
So, I mean, again, sub 17, you have the luxury of not having to worry too big about the consequences of this decision. But if it doesn't work, SAGU will have a shorter field to work with. But a first down will officially lead to essentially kneel down territory.
5 wide here for Bardell. He takes a snap. He's back to pass. Rolls out to his right. He's going to take off and run for the first down and then some. Splits a couple of defenders down to the 10. Cuts, throws a stiff arm, and stretches into the end zone. Torrance Bardell from 38 yards turned on the jets and showed the strength and fights into the end zone. And this one getting out of control.
And Bardell now with, they almost felt like a designed run, even though they went 5 wide. He looked a little bit around, but I think he was thinking run very early on. So 2 very long touchdown runs in this quarter for Torrance Bardell. So he will get his 5th touchdown. He'll go well over 100 yards rushing for the game. And yeah, that is some power fighting his way into the end zone. Another 4th down touchdown for Langston. They've had a couple of those today now as it's up and good. And there will be 45 to 21. SAGU will have a chance to get the ball back, but they've been unable to stop this second half onslaught now from Langston. 4 touchdowns out of their last 5 drives have put this one well away.
.24 ball game now after the 38-yard touchdown run from Torrance Bardell. There you see, we talked about the passing numbers. 8 rushes for 129 yards, 2 touchdowns, and just over 16 yards a carry. So 5 touchdowns on the afternoon or the evening for Torrance Bardell, 3 passing, 2 rushing. I think without question we've got our player of the game right here in Torrance Bardell.
And a guy that we weren't sure if he was going to be the starting quarterback or not when the game started.
They split snaps this season with quarterbacks.
And so to have him come out, and he's even pushed his completion percentage over 50% and hovered below for most of the game. Tyler Travis, again, 53 yards, very hard fought. Kevin Allen hasn't had to do much at all from early on in the game, but he had the early touchdown when it really mattered. So now 2:55 left. Again, SAGU, same situation, just trying to make some good things happen. As an offense, you've looked a lot better, but really as a defense, you've kind of struggled here after a solid first half.
Short kick fielded at the 8-yard line. Cutting it upfield is Alford. Alford upended to 26 is where they're going to mark him. So 1 yard better than a touchback. Not bad. So SAGU comes out here on offense. Down 24 with 2:48 left to play. Briley Green will come back in at quarterback.
And that will still be a conversation going forward, obviously. Jamonte Gordon-West took over after that week 2 loss and had a really good game on the road against Arkansas Baptist that earned him the starting role. He started the last 2. We saw Briley for the 3rd quarter last week, but it was hard to judge anybody's performance last week with how Ottawa, Arizona was playing. And
deep
another
ball
pick.
Downfield, and it is incomplete. It hit the ground. The side official saying incomplete. Langston celebrating like they have it, but we've seen no official call, and they're going to say incomplete. Okay. So they finally realized it was an incomplete pass.
Catch the replay here. Okay, you see a dribble there. Didn't see the dribble from this angle up here. So almost another pick.
2nd and 10 here now. 2:41 remaining. SAGU still down 24.
That is what has to kind of scare you too, is you've had 5 turnovers, and there's been room for 2 or 3 more than that.
Green rolling out to his right. He's going to let it go. Incomplete. Brings up 3rd and 10.
Yeah, moving forward, obviously, Briley Green has had some really good moments in this half. He's thrown the touchdown in the last drive and really led 3 solid drives in a row. They just couldn't punch it in for touchdowns and had the 1 missed field goal. Obviously, the 2 interceptions right in a row, really sting, and one just getting caught at the line. The other was an overthrown ball that is the one that led to the game getting put away.
3rd and 10 here for Green. 2:33 left to play. 4 wide to either side. He's back to pass here. Steps up, let's go across the middle. He has Jamal Long. Long has enough. He's right at the sticks, and he should have enough for the first down.
Jamal Long has been a real bright spot in this one. He has started to dominate that seam pattern. He's setting up shop 10, 12 yards downfield and has made a number of huge conversion catches. Has himself a touchdown catch as well. A lot of shifting for SAGU. They had both receivers switch sides.
4 wide here for Green, 2 either side. Back to pass here on first down. Clean pocket, let's go across the middle, looking for Long, and Long could not bring it in. Good coverage that time. Mikkel Nash on the coverage.
Intended for Jamal Long.
2nd and 10 incoming here for SAGU. Same formation here, 4 wide, 2 on either side here for Green. Low snap and it's bobbled. Green picks it up, looking to launch it downfield. Underthrown, out of bounds. Brings up 3rd and 10. .142 left to play here in quarter number 4. SAGU still trailing by 24.
3rd and 10.
3rd and 10. Briley Green has picked up a couple of 3rd down conversions here in the second half since being at the helm. We'll see if he has another one in him here. Back to pass, steps up. He's going to break the pocket out to his right. Trailing backwards, throws it away, incomplete. And that'll bring up 4th down.
Probably the last offensive play for the Lions if they're unable to convert.
They will bring out the punting unit on 4th and 10.
Again, all academic at this point. Not much of a chance to get back in it. And punt it back to Langston, who I'm sure will be content to kneel down and seal the 24-point win here in Waxahachie. A game that, again, at the start, I believe, of the 4th quarter, they just led 17-13. This was a tight game, but an onslaught, 28 points for Langston. SAGU was able to throw a touchdown with a 2-point conversion in the middle of that, but for the most part, all Langston to take the game.
Look out, we've got a punt return here. He's going to get brought down from behind. He had a good motion there. He had some blockers out in front of him. He's brought down at the 43-yard line. So an exciting punt return there to set up Langston.
The kicker's return to the 43-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10, Langston.
And they will come out in the, not really, I call it like the safety formation. They got a guy 15 yards back, 2 guys behind the quarterback. Guys turning around backwards. You used to just kind of see more of the straight kneel down. Nowadays, in a lot of these teams, they okay, we just make sure nothing goes terribly wrong in this situation.
And Langston will get to run the best play in football, the victory formation quarterback kneel. There you see the end stats here. SAGU actually out and gaining Langston in total yardage, but 103 rushing yards. Really good job by Langston and the Lions today to just take the air out of SAGU's defense.
Look at Jamal Long's stats there for the day. 9 catches, 159 yards, and a touchdown. A real coming out day for him. You've seen him play really good football a lot, but kind of in a different location on the field, different position almost. Had a great game, Odidi as well. So SAGU's offense, again, after last week, a huge, massive improvement. But too many turnovers is going to be the story of this one. Allowed Langston to take a lead early, and then the turnovers put it out of reach late. The clock will wind. The team's in midfield. The Langston Lions will win 45-21 over the SAGU Lions, snapping a 3-game win streak by the SAGU Lions in this rivalry series, and will send SAGU to their second loss in a row and drop them to 1-3 on the year. They will head next week to Wayland Baptist, trying to get back on track. Then a real tough one coming home to take on the Texas Wesleyan Rams.
We get to call that one together, Tim.
Yeah, we come back home here for our next broadcast on October 14th.
2 p.m. Central Time, that is.
Big game against the Rams. The Rams going to be, fighting for that playoff spot the whole way.
And it doesn't hurt that they put up 62 points today in their matchup.
They are looking good. That's one SAGU. Obviously, you focus on Wayland next week. You go and try to get a win there, get back to 2-3.
And you see Texas Wesleyan over Arkansas Baptist 62-0. Of course, the final here in Waxahachie, 45-21. And then OPSU, Louisiana Christian, still in a tight one, 7-6 up in the Panhandle. So we'll keep an eye on how that game ends and Louisiana Christian's bid to sneak into that top 20. But as it stands, SAGU, a couple of tough losses here in back-to-back weeks. 97 total points allowed in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah, and a lot of that comes down to situational football, turnovers, and last week the story was field position. It's hard to say the defense has played well. The defense has had their moments. They haven't forced any turnovers. A lot to clean up to go try to take care of business against Wayland. And then, that big game against Texas Wesleyan, you got to be ready for that one. You lost to them 35-0 last year. You've got to have some of these things figured out by the time the Rams come to town in 2 weeks.
And, of course, that game will be live here on the SAGU Sports Network. Of course, all of our upcoming broadcasts will be on the SAGU Sports Network YouTube channel. Go ahead and share the link with your family and friends. We love having people from out of the area tune in, and we hope that what we do for you guys helps you enjoy the game a little bit better if you cannot be here to watch it. You can find past broadcasts, highlights, shorts, and more on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, X, whatever we're calling all these social networks nowadays. Oh, I cannot believe I just said that. I sound old. Hit the subscribe button, hit the follow button, and I promise you will enjoy what you will see on all of our social media platforms. Again, the final score today, Langston 45, SAGU 21. This broadcast today was brought to you by a crew of about 90% students, and of course I'm counting ourselves in that 10%. It's about 90% students here from the Digital Media Arts program here at SAGU, and we are so thankful that they give up their Saturdays, and today not just their Saturday evening but their Saturday afternoon as well, because they brought you that volleyball game that you saw right before kickoff here. So they worked hard today. So a big shout out and a big thank you to our student-led crew. For our producer John Cookman and for our executive producer John Cookman and producer James Lex, I'm Adam Ferguson, and for my partner Tim Roberts, thank you once again for watching the SAGU Sports Network.